Good morning. Let's click the thing.
Can you please look up this thing?
See if we can figure out something.
I am early. Hey, Steve. I'm early for 2 reasons. 1, this is so exciting. I need to paste it. Are you ready? Boom. I got the first thing. Now I hope YouTube doesn't remove it as a spam
Hello and
link.
good morning.
Oh,
Good morning,
hello,
Ryan.
good morning. You're not supposed to be speaking in my ear yet. So yeah, I have memberships. I have, what is the other thing? There should be emojis once I can figure that out. And super chats, super stickers, I think I enabled those. I'm still like figuring out that part of it because like my day-to-day does not involve that much of like membership stuff, like what I do on YouTube on the channels I work on. So I'm still figuring it out, but I am excited. Thanks, Steve. And well done for being a mod on a channel that has members. Okay, I'm also live early because I have to show you this courtroom thing. I was watching Law Talk with Mike, and he was watching this judge, not this exact. I don't think he was watching this one that I want to show, but he was watching this judge, and I went and looked her up, and I was like 15 or 20 minutes into this. I was like, wait, I have to show this. This is insane. Also, today's testimony for Dale Warner's 2 hours 23, and I need to let it run. So if anybody needs to leave, please go right ahead. You may be dismissed.
If you could unmute, please. We are here today on the record in the matters of the city of East Lansing and the people of the state of Michigan versus Todd Densborn. We have file number 21-02063 SD and 21-01611 OD. We're here today, Mr. Densborn, because there's been a probation violation and I think additional supplemental alleged violations, and the court felt it absolutely necessary to see you as soon as possible. So I'm very, we're on Zoom today, and we'll address that momentarily. But just to start with, I'm glad, very, very glad that you decided to appear on Zoom today. Mr. Wickman, could I have your appearance for the record, please?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Christopher Wickman on behalf of Mr. Densborn. Both Mr. Densborn and myself are on Zoom from separate locations.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Densborn, are you able to hear and see me and Mr. Wickman? And we also have Ms. Taylor here.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, and Ms. Taylor, our treatment board coordinator is present, and hello and good morning, Ms. Taylor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Densborn, I'll start with the more formalities here, which is that a probation violation was issued because it's alleged that you committed a new charge. It's my understanding, actually, there's 2 new charges in the 55th District Court. And I also understand, and Ms. Taylor could provide more information, that there are several supplemental alleged violations having to do with your failure to appear for testing as is required by this program. And Ms. Taylor, are there other supplemental violations?
Your Honor, just I received a no-show for drug testing yesterday.
Okay, so that would have been June 24th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there additional failures to appear for drug testing, or is it just the 24th?
That's the only additional, Your Honor.
Okay, but what are the other ones? Because I don't have a violation for those.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I sent that over. Give me 1 second.
Okay, and I have just been handed a supplemental that alleges that Mr. Dunsborne failed to appear for urinalysis testing on June 11th, June 13th, June 15th, June 21st. And you didn't appear to meet with Ms. Taylor on the 17th. And then now we have the additional not appearing for testing on June 24th. So Mr. Dunsborne, all these allegations, would trigger a possible penalty of 93 days in jail and fines, and you have a right to an attorney to assist you with this, and you have a right to a hearing. I'm not sure if you and Mr. Wickman have been able to discuss these allegations. Mr. Wickman, have you and Mr. Dunsborne had the chance to confer?
We have not, Your Honor. We spoke briefly this morning. At this time, I'm going to ask that we enter a not guilty plea. I imagine that might change in the future, but I think at this point, Your Honor, it is best to enter the not guilty plea.
Okay.
And kind of addressing everything in the future. Addressing Mr. Densborn's, he indicated that he didn't see Maria's email to appear this morning. Miss Lee, our peer recovery coach, got him on the phone with me, and I told him that he couldn't make it in person because he was just not able to do so in time, but appearing in Zoom at least would be better, so this court could arraign him and properly address interim bond conditions, given his plans, which I can address whenever the court is ready with regards to what's next for Mr. Densborne.
Okay, very good. So we'll enter not guilty plea. Mr. Dunsborne, we will address these allegations again at our next hearing, which will be on July 3rd. So a week from tomorrow,
Just
July 3rd,
wait.
Wednesday.
It gets
So
really
Mr.
good.
Dunsborne, the most important thing that we need to do today is to address your bond and to determine how the court can be assured that you and the community will be safe until July 3rd, when I next see you. On that, Mr. Wickman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just briefly, really what it comes down to is the charges were the old ones that we kind of knew about. We just didn't necessarily know the full extent of them. I'm not aware of the incident, things like that, of the no-show testing and things like that. Mr. Densborne is planning to head to Sacred Heart. He gave me approximate time of leaving about 9:20, 9:30, as when he was looking to be heading out the door to Sacred Heart. I told him it was still best to appear this morning. So he's planning on being at Sacred Heart starting today. I would ask the court to allow him to do that, but he needs to provide documentation of such and execute proper releases for Ms. Taylor, or we can't know that he is there and that the community is safe and he risks a bench warrant being issued and people locating him. So I would just ask that for interim bond conditions. I think it is absolutely reasonable that he needs to get to somewhere where he is safe and not using, and then we can really evaluate kind of the full picture with Mr. Densborne and kind of the challenges we have. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Wickman. Mr. Densborne, did you hear what Mr. Wickman told me?
Yes, Your Honor, and that's my plan. I have to get sober to survive, let alone stay out of jail.
That I agree with your statement. So, Mr. Densborne, here are the court's issues. One, how do you plan on getting to Sacred Heart? How are you going to get there right now?
My daughter is taking me.
Okay, is she with you right now?
She's on her way up from Cassopolis. She's on her way up. She'll be here within the next half hour.
Okay, and I know she's an adult. Obviously, you've told me about your daughter before. How she's in her 20s, is that right?
Yeah, 23.
23. Okay. So it's your understanding she's driving right now
Yes.
to you in Lansing?
Yes.
Are you at Pinnacle?
Pardon?
Are you at Pinnacle right now?
No. I had to leave Pinnacle because I had to leave Pinnacle.
Okay. Okay, so your daughter will be driving you. Where will your vehicle and the keys to your vehicle be when you're at Sacred Heart?
I left it at Pinnacle. I left my car at Pinnacle. I don't plan on getting back into it until it's legal.
And Mr. Wickman, I would appreciate the defense coming up with some assurances that the court could make sure that happens. So quite frankly, I need to know, to follow along with Mr. Wickman's request for interim bond, I need to know that the keys are not in Mr. Densborne's possession.
Mr. Densborne, do you know where the keys are to your vehicle right now?
They're in the vehicle.
Okay. Do you know anyone at Pinnacle who you would trust to hold onto those keys because it's not safe to have them in the vehicle either, sir?
Yeah, I don't have the vehicle anymore. I don't consider that part of my property anymore at all.
Well, is the vehicle unlocked where someone could get into the vehicle and take the keys out?
Yes.
Okay, can I give me someone at Sacred Heart who you trust to take possession
Or
of the,
Pinnacle, I think it's Pinnacle,
correct?
yes. Ms. Taylor,
Uh,
who's your
the-
contact at Pinnacle?
I've been talking with, I believe, the program manager, Adam.
Adam? You know Adam, Mr. Densmore?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna order that Adam needs to have your vehicle keys in his possession, and he will be the custodian of those keys while you are at Sacred Heart.
Understood.
Understood and agreed to, Mr. Densmore?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could we have more specific information? And Ms. Taylor, if you could get Adam, I need to know where that car is. I mean, is it literally just parked in their parking lot, or is it parked on the street in front of Pinnacle?
It's parked in the parking lot.
It's parked in the parking lot. Okay. So, Ms. Taylor, if you could, and you can get off of our hearing to make that call, I need to know that that's all accurate and that Adam's able to identify Mr. Densmore's vehicle.
Okay.
Okay. So Ms. Taylor will get off and then we'll just continue to address. That's the most important thing, Mr. Densmore, and it is a absolute necessity for safety. And I'm thinking of your safety and I'm thinking of the safety of the community. So we just, for me to go along with the request for interim bond, which I would like to do, we need to have that piece of that security in place. And so that's what we're working towards. Mr. Densmore, if you're allowed to go to Sacred Heart, in the interim, as Mr. Wickman said, you'll need to sign releases so that Ms. Taylor, and if you'd like Ms. Lee also to be on that, would be able to communicate with the staff at Sacred Heart. We'll have to make sure that we're able to see you, hopefully on the 3rd, to have a check-in. And then, most importantly today, if you get into Sacred Heart, the court needs documentation. And Mr. Wickman, to make that happen, will we need the release signed?
I believe we would have to have a release signed in order for them to communicate with us, yes.
Okay, I believe we would too. Mr. Densmore, you've been to Sacred Heart before. You're familiar with that treatment center, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And did you choose Sacred Heart just because you need someplace to go and it's local, or is there? I guess I'm just asking about, are you ready to go there? And is that a choice that you understand?
Raimondo, don't give anything away because I got to, I think, the part that you're referring to, and then I paused because I wanted to watch it with you guys.
You need.
Yeah, I'm not willing to die today. I understand that this probation and this court is, saved my life, but I need help. I need help, and I have the willingness to go get it. It's not, I'm not trying to escape. I'm just trying to survive.
Well, Mr. Densmore, you made a really good choice, and I know Mr. Wickman, you agree with this, to appear today. A very, very good choice. So I would say, even in a moment, I mean, I know this is not a good moment for you, a good day for you, a good morning for you, but you still were able to have the, strength, courage, and clarity to do the right thing, at least in respect to this court. So that was a very, very important thing you did this morning. Mr. Wickman, I know you were instrumental in making that happen. So I really appreciate you. And I think Mr. Densmore, if you, even in this current state, are able to listen to Mr. Wickman, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's, Mrs. Lee, is the real cornerstone of this. She won't let me run off the edge.
I know. You and Miss Lee have been working together for a long time. And I mean, I know there's a lot of a very strong bond there. And I know her feelings about you, Mr. Dunsborn. So I appreciate you again acknowledging her. Miss Taylor, you're back. Did you get any more information?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with Aaron, who's the program manager. I apologize. I said the wrong name earlier.
Sure.
He says that Todd's car is not on their property. They have not seen Todd's car in 2 days.
Okay. Did you hear that, Mr. Dunsborn?
I did. I sold it to a guy. I sold it to a guy for $1,000. He paid me $500 and is supposed to pay me another $500 next week, but I can't prove any of that.
So the information you told me about Pinnacle was untrue. And now this story that you can't prove, I think you can understand why I have questions about that as well.
This is where I
Yes.
paused.
Densmore, I think you still have your car, and I think you have access to your car. And I cannot allow you to, I can't leave this hearing either without having those keys in the custody of someone else who is safe and sober, or by, then the other option is would need to issue a warrant for your arrest, and you would not go to Sacred Heart. You would have to go be held in custody. And neither of us want that, but you cannot have your car. So where is your car?
Gone. Oh,
Where are the keys to your car?
in my car. I sold it to a guy. Look, I don't even know his name. He was a guy at Pinnacle. So yeah, I gotta go to treatment though. I have to.
That's not what we're talking about. We all agree with that. It's just that obviously treatment is, it's a voluntary program, and it's my understanding you could leave treatment. And that's where I need to protect the community and make sure that if you were to walk out of Sacred Heart, you don't have access to a vehicle. Is that your daughter?
Oh, it's the TV. Sorry.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Why did it suddenly start talking?
So, Mr. Densmore, I'm going to ask you again, where are the keys to your car?
In my car.
And where's your
have my
car?
I don't have it. I mean, I can't prove it, but I don't have it.
Is there, I can't just go off that, and, given how this conversation has gone, Mr. Densmore, and given your state, that would not be responsible of me to accept that as an assurance. So is there a sober, trustworthy adult who can give the court more information about where that car is? For instance, your daughter.
I was going to suggest, John, I could try to call his daughter. I don't love calling people who are in their car driving in this weather, but if we need to try to figure something out, I think that might be best.
Mr. Densmore, are you willing to provide Mr. Wickman your daughter's phone number?
No. Just go ahead, put the warrant. Look, my car, I don't have my car anymore. I'm ridiculously drunk and high, and I have to go to treatment. Like, I have to leave soon. I have to.
Wait, did I literally pick the same one as Law Talk with Mike? I could swear he was watching a different person. Okay, well, if it is the same person, I need to give all credit to him because I thought this was a different one. I just saw this judge on his because I was watching Judge Bryant while I couldn't sleep last night, and she was like, "Oh boy, Law Talk with Mike is here," or something. And so I went to get his handle so I could tag him in the short.
To take a shower, so put me in jail. I don't care.
Mr. Wickman,
I don't have my car. Like, that's.
Mr. Wickman, would you be willing to go in a breakout room with Mr. Densmore to see if you could have a conversation, and then we'll go back on the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to see. As far as I know, they didn't come back. Yeah, they didn't. See, there's that. Let's just see this.
And Ms. Lee is also here. I appreciate you both being here today. And Mr. Densmore, it's my understanding that you were able to speak with Ms. Lee, with Mr. Wickman, and that you've come up with a good plan. I fully support that plan. And with that plan, those are your bond conditions, Mr. Densborn. So today, that's what we're doing. It's my understanding Ms. Lee will be in touch with you. She will take custody of those keys. She will get you to treatment where we all want you to be and need you to be, and we'll move forward accordingly. Mr. Wickman, anything further to say on that?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Lee, thank you so very much. Is there anything else you need to tell me or Mr. Densborn right now?
Nope, I will be in contact with Maria if, we need to postpone this a day or two or anything, but I'm going to try my hardest to facilitate transport today to get him to where he needs to be. The alternative may be Bear River. I do know that they transport and do emergency 24-hour detox. So I know for a fact they transport. I'm going to have to move some things around in my schedule and just get clearance from, Dr. Brooke, but we'll make this happen.
Okay, thank you very much. And then when you have custody of the keys, please inform the court.
Absolutely.
Very good. Mr. Densborn, thinking of you again, like I said, I want you to know that what you did today of listening to Mr. Wickman, appearing on this Zoom, and then of course listening to Ms. Lee was really important. And just even in this state, you have the strength and the inner clarity to do that. So that gives me a lot of optimism and hope for you, Mr. Densborn. We're going to see you again and we'll get through this.
You're muted, Mr. Densborn, as well.
You're muted, sir, but I think I understood what you're saying and I appreciate it. Okay, that's all for this today, and we'll all be in touch. Thank you all for your help.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lee and Ms. Taylor.
Let's just see, there's nothing. Okay. Jump over to here. Oh my gosh. Look, guys. Okay, first, before we do anything, I came on early because I had to speak about the fact that I have memberships and I have super chats and I think something else. I didn't get the shopping thing, but that's okay. I think it's maybe not available in South Africa, but that's fine. And here we go. Scroll down a bit. Here is my first super chat. Mel, thank you. That is really cool. I'm so stoked. Raimondo, thank you. Very cool. Crazy, guys. Like, I opened YouTube and I was like, hold on a minute. Hold on. They've added a little revenue thing. What is that about? For the loyalty badges and things, I've added members only live streams, which I was thinking that we could potentially, like there's trials that I watch that are not public friendly. So like I save them, but then I realize they might be about things that cannot be in a normal live. Maybe we could do something like that in the members only, because it doesn't really make sense to like do a members only live of just normal chatting, because that's what I do. Don't see a member button. Did you click the pinned link? Because maybe I haven't activated it yet. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try join, which is going to be weird because it's me as me. But I just want to see what happens. Now I need to remember my CVC of this card. I'm not showing the screen, right? No. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just sharing my bank details. Okay. To there and there. Let's go like that. Okay, I've got a membership on mine. I'm a member of my own. But now why doesn't it show the little macaroni? Does it show? Oh yeah, there you go. Welcome to Macaroni. I'm not seeing join yet on mine either. Oh man. Anyway, I'll figure that out. We need to crack on quick fast because this is a 2.5 hour testimony. That is the final one. What did I want to say? So members, I mentioned that I have a trial that is 3 hours, 33 minutes, including the verdict, that is exporting, and it will be done in 23 minutes. So that's the next thing. It is in the same court as the quick trial we did, but different judge. I like her. She's very cool. I think so far. I have not seen the verdict. So when we watch it, there might be like, I was cutting gaps and then I got close to the verdict time and I just tried not to cut as much so that I didn't see or hear the verdict. And then the other thing is I mentioned that the members only lives can be potentially like content that I've saved that might not get the tick. And what was the other thing? I can't remember the other thing. Hey, Steve's a member. It worked. That's cool. Also, I couldn't figure out how to get the little button thing. Like you have the macaroni next to your name. So you should see it on mine, maybe. I couldn't figure out how to get that not to be the funny square. So this is where we're at for now. Okay, let's do this. We are going to have to crack on no matter what happens. I'm going to have to let the stream run until we finish this one because otherwise this is going to carry over in the middle of a testimony and this is already part 2. Let's do that. Hide that. Present. Share screen.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So I hope you got it.
Yes, sir.
Take a seat. Say and spell your first and last name, please.
Daniel Drewer, DanielDrewer.
Sir, last time we were here, you testified that you received a bunch of evidence from the Lenawee County Sheriff's Department. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And as part of that evidence, did you receive body camera footage?
Yes.
And do you have in your possession a body camera from April 29th, 2021?
Yes.
And who was doing that interview?
That was Detective Greca with Dale Warner.
Okay. Your Honor.
Sorry, didn't that name?
Detective Greca with Dale Warner.
And do you recall if that video was approximately 4 hours and 6 minutes long?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Your Honor, at this time, I move to admit Exhibit 15J portion of the 2 hour and 35 minute and 50 second mark to the 3 hour and 3 minute and 4 second mark, as that relates to the portion of the video where they discuss, tell me starting with Saturday what happened that weekend, and then the portion of video from 3 hours and 39 minutes and 54 seconds to 3 hours and 41 minutes and 8 seconds as it relates to a question on their marriage and affairs, state of affairs.
I previously objected to the video coming in through this witness, and I respect the court's prior ruling. Thank you.
Counsel, what defense exhibit number was this?
15J, that's part of the drive that we recorded them on.
Okay. Proposed exhibit 15J is admitted.
Let's start at a Thursday, so was that Sunday morning, last year, Sunday, 16 roughly. So let's go back to Saturday morning. We're gonna start with that on Saturday morning. You're shaking your head, yeah. You asked me what I did Saturday morning? Yeah, it's,
How?
yeah, I know what we did Saturday morning because I said my son and Ivan was with me, they got here. Well, I'm gonna try to find out, so you wake up Saturday morning, are you both in bed, or she, either that one, was she out, or? No, we both in. And Saturday morning. As far as I can remember, we were both in bed. I got up and roughly what time do you get up? I usually get up about 6 or 7. So that's been standard that day is I get up. Okay, then you know, stuff you have your question mark, you believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were. So okay. All right, then you get up and if she stays in bed, she's like, man, she feels slower than you were. She stays in bed, she don't roughly look at her time. Well, she had to have I thought she had to have my daughter on soccer game at 9, but it turned out it was 11. So I imagine she probably got up around 8:30, 9 o'clock. That would be probably a question for Raquel, because she probably called text back and forth for Raquel, so whenever you see a text message in the morning, you know she's on. Okay. And they are getting that stuff right now, you know, from your as well. If the text was not getting that from yours right now. So 6 a.m. roughly you go up on Saturday, 8:30 you up here, so after 6 you leave. After 6, yeah. Well, I run it in order to left you. I'm trying to think, I have to go out with the time card to see when Jerry and my son got here, because we got stuff around when I work with Tyler on Saturday morning. So you're on the farm until you drive there, you believe you're here until you go to the farm? Well, we had, I'm trying to think, we moved all the machinery over Friday night, it seems like Dee brought us back. If I'm on the right day, it seems like Dee brought us back pizza from Basil Boys on Friday night. We were over putting tile in on Tipton Highway. If you go down Tipton Highway, you see the tiles, and that's in many centers. So we were there late till about 9 or 10 foot tile in. Friday time. Tipton. Right, I mean, my son was time cards and show that we're there putting tile in, and we wanted to finish up. We had a roll left to finish up because we're trying to get into this fucking rain. We were over there that morning, and that's where we were that Saturday morning. Yeah, so you get something, then you go over that, that's what you think you're doing. Right, we had to get batteries and stuff for the saws, all the drills, and tile, a couple of tape stuff, we took from here. There's some rough, it was anything like here to Tipton. I think it was around 8. Just trying to think if there's any breakdowns or major problems on Saturday, so all the trucks were here. The mechanics were working on the trucks. You actually have to with some, did you go with, or at least it was the DC's kind of there too, or I would do that with you? You know what, it was Jaron, what was in here. That was Jaron. Yeah, Jaron. Jaron was with me, and then Brian, my son-in-law came over. Ivan wasn't here. Ivan had to take took semi-load. He drove for Todd on Saturday. He had to take a load. So Ivan was with me Friday night. And he brought us back pizza and food at the field. And then we all came back here and had some more in the house when we got back. And then Saturday, Ivan had to drive for Todd. He had to also some feed or something to an elevator. So Jaron and I went over there. We started to put tile in. Brian, I was spraying. I can't remember if I sprayed it. I have to look at a lot of it. I might have sprayed load out first Saturday morning. What would that then be? But we were tiling, regardless of what I did before I got, if I was a sprayer, if I was tiling. We were at the field tiling when Dee took Angelina to the soccer game. And that's when she called me. And that's when I was aware of there was an argument with Terry. Did I lose you? I mean, yes, you did. So, if you sprayed on Saturday, yes, it would have been. I can't. Yeah, it would be before the tile. So I'm gonna put spray question mark before. Yeah, because I don't. There's so many you did then. I have my log days have to spray. I mean, no, that's not right. We fall back on a crutch when we got all these sprayers, they got all these computers in them. You forget what you've done, you go punch the computer and it tells you what's there and what you did. So spray and possibly. I remember if I sprayed first and then we went to the field with tile in. Jaron, you took the highway tile with the 8 o'clock with Brian. Yep, Brian. And then roughly I called her, she called me, I called her before 9, asked her if she was at the game and how the game was going. And she said, no, the game is at 11, it's not at, I thought she told me 9 or 10. So I called her early and she hadn't told me that. And I said, okay, well, call me, let me know how the game's going, because she was giving me a field trip and I was going to my daughter's soccer game. Yeah. So, and then roughly, I was like, probably 11:30 because the game was going on and she called me. And she says, are you by yourself? And I said, no, I'm with Tyler, with your friend. Well, get by yourself. And that's when she said, well, how did she word it? Why are you telling the health that I'm taking Xanax or something like that? And I was like, Florida. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're telling the health that I'm taking Xanax? I said, no, I'm not telling the health that you're taking anything. And you told Terry this. And I said, no, I did not. I haven't talked to Terry in like a month. He's one of the drivers. He rolls in Friday night late, Saturday. I don't see him. So, but just before, Friday is the day she got into it with Terry. I didn't know this until then. So anyways, that's when she says, you told Terry this. I said, I did not, Dee. I don't know why you're all upset, because what Terry does on his own time is his business is dropping. And that's when she says, well, I'm all done with fucking selling everything. we're done. And she hang up the phone, and I had no more contact with her the rest of the day. She went, I tried calling her several times, and she wouldn't answer phones. And she went over to her daughter Amber's.
All done, we're selling everything.
Yeah, I was dumbfounded. I walked back, we just finished putting tile in. And I was just dumbfounded. I didn't say nothing to the boys. I'm thinking, what the hell you were to say we're selling everything? I'm thinking,
Yeah, still love that dirty phone call you're talking about.
yeah, we're on that. Well, because she still was soccer game, that's yes.
Yeah.
So she said that, and I didn't talk to her the rest of the day because she wouldn't answer her phone. And then I came home. I'm trying to remember what time I got home. I think it was roughly about 8 o'clock. We'd have to, look at the boys' time cards and punched out when we got back home. So that was.
So you're tiling all the way through to 8 o'clock, roughly, so the farm, where I've been on that.
I'm trying to think, where did we go after that? We got tile, I think we were with the town.
Okay.
So we came back here.
And you said it'll be 8:30 or something, or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, if we need definite time, we can find the time card for the boys now when we got back.
So we're asking them about 8:30 here, then just roughly.
Yeah, roughly, I say 8 o'clock. So I got back here. Yep, I got back here.
Which is for the, your son, with you as well, that one, did he come over now?
Yeah, they came back here. I'm trying to remember what the hell we did. We spread some fertilizer. I mean, like I said, I mean, if we need definite time, so I'm looking at the computer to see where we're at for sure.
Right.
I mean, that's hard to remember what I did 2 days ago.
You're doing better than me. So you back Saturday,
She came back Saturday, she's in the house. I go up to the house. First I got here and I went out to see Angelina did her chicken chores, and they weren't done. So I came up, got her, went out, did the chicken chores. She went out, did chicken. No, don't tell her that. So, her chores weren't done, so I came and got her. And they was over here sitting in the chair. I could tell she was all upset. Her face was red and all that stuff. Crying. She didn't say nothing to me. I said, I'm taking Angelina out to do chores. And she said, okay, that's fine. I took Angelina out. We did the chores. And we come back in. I said, Dee, I'm gonna take Angelina. We're gonna go over to the other farm and check the steers. Because my son was spreading fertilizer. He came back from town. He went to spread fertilizer. I think I went across the road and hit some ground.
After you came?
No, before. We did tiling, and I think we both came back. He went to spread fertilizer, and I was in the tractor across the road here setting. I think I can't remember which frickin' day. I mean, it sounds like I didn't know what I was doing, but the more I talk about it, the more I can remember what we're doing. But I know my son was spreading fertilizer that night because we went over to check the steers at the farm because he didn't have time to short since he was in the dry fertilizer. So I came in and told Dee that I wanted to take Angelina with me to check the cattle over to the farm.
So you definitely, you tile from now, maybe you're done at 60. How big of a field, how long did it take?
Well, we only had one roll of tile to put in, and the sprinkler ran on and off, and then we ran out of tile and we quit. So, I mean, without looking at the time cards, like I said, I get well, if you want a definite exact answer.
No, but it's rough now, so the field, how long did it take you to till the field?
I didn't know if it was around, so there wasn't much, it was getting late, so I just came over.
So maybe morning, say 8 p.m. get here.
Well, it was still about 8 when we got here, but I mean, for the time we was tiling until 8 p.m. here, there might have been some other things out in between, but I don't remember for sure.
But fit in the field across the
I
street.
think I did go over there and fit, but I know my son was spreading fertilizer because I came in and told her that we was gonna go check the cattle at the other farm. And she says, no, you can't. Amy called and said I was gonna go over by the Hazel. And I'm like, well, was this planned? Because, I was gonna take her over here and I hadn't seen her all day. I didn't say this, but I'm thinking this myself. I didn't see you all day. You want to think about it? But no, she's coming to get herself. And then he said, here, I jumped in the truck and drove over to Tom's, checked the cattle out, talked to him for a few minutes over there because he's had an auction of the birds.
Roughly time, you had times?
Probably about 9, close to 9. Because when I got back here, it was from Northern. So when I got back,
Where's roughly, yeah?
Northern. You went out straight to Washington.
Okay. Roughly 9 o'clock question mark. Yeah. You go there.
Check the cattle, let her look them all, and then feed. Walked out, talked to Tom for a little bit. Because he's had an auction, like I say, on the first. And then I had back here, Angelina was gone, because Amy came back in the meantime. I asked Dee if she just wanted something to eat, because she was sitting there all upset. I said, I got that hamburger out on the fridge, I said, I'll make some burgers, what do you want to eat? No, I don't want to. I don't feel like it. And she says, Terry quit today. And I said, no, I did not. Oh, I know what it was. I didn't get back. Scratch. Saturday, we got done tiling. Todd took me down to Finley to bring back the truck that was worked on. It's coming back. It might take a while.
Well, you are right. Finley or Fayette.
It was Finley. We went down to Finley and picked up the truck and brought back. So
not roughly.
I'm thinking I'm still back here about 8:37, 8 o'clock. So I'm back. Oh, Finley. God, it was too bad.
think we left here around 3:30. Hour and a half down, hour and a half back. And so,
Your phone already said you were in Philly,
Okay.
so I'm just trying to.
okay, well, it's coming to me, it's coming to me.
Take your mind, just let you go.
No, it's coming to me, so that's what,
4:30, 4:30.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, for what purpose?
we had a truck down there, to pick up the service and brought back. So when I got in I talked to Dee, she told me that Terry quit, she says, you know that? No, I did not know that, even though I was riding with Terry's brother all the way down there, I was never told that Terry was fired. And then I actually said Terry quit, I says, well, you know, that's all right, I don't want to fight with you, because I can see she's upset already. And, she was insistent on trying to start a fight. She says, you don't care about me, nobody cares about me, and what does it matter if I'm even here? And I says, Dee, you can't talk like that. And she kept saying the jabs, and we've been going to council and there in a while, but Craig was telling us how to de-escalate the things to say, so you don't start a fight, because, you know, she knows how to get me fired up, and I know how to fire her up. And I was trying not to get to where we're both screaming at each other. There's nothing, please, all screaming at each other. And she was very mad because she was, after hindsight, I look back, I think she was trying to get me mad so she could have a fight so that she could have a reason to leave that night. But she had a migraine, she got her medicine, and then she acted like, I gotta eat, and she was feeling sick. So she got up, came over here, and we had some other cuts her mouth. And I seen the burritos, breakfast burritos, she got 3 breakfast burritos Saturday sometime on the way home. So she got all the breakfast burritos out, and I made some toast, she got all the breakfast burritos and had warmed up. And we sat down with her and ate the breakfast burrito. And she kind of was getting calmed down. I thought, well, okay, she's calming down. This is good. This is laying on the floor. I'll rub it back. See her head goes away. She lay on the floor.
Roughly what time are you thinking this is?
I'm thinking it's around midnight, 1 o'clock. So she lay on the floor. She took, I don't know, she was sitting there in the midriff. I don't know what the hell then she took. I don't know, you guys got better. I think, anyways, it's midriff. Is where she takes her migraines.
Okay.
And she took 3 of them, and I thought she was only supposed to take 1. But anyways, regardless. So she started calming down. I rubbed her back and shoulder. She started calming down. And she started getting where she was going to go to sleep. And I said, just go to sleep, honey. She's like, then she started watching TV. And she kind of dozed off to sleep. So I picked her up, put her on the couch, tucked her in. What's that? This is about 2 o'clock.
She's just half-assed, unconsciously.
No, she
actually completely grabbed.
No, I didn't. No, she's just, you know, if your kid's kind of asleep, you get them up and they help enough to get in bed, drop her, and then you cover them up. So then she went to sleep and she was snoring away. I went into bed. When I got up, I come out, she was still, snoring hard, like she's really sleeping.
Roughly 6 a.m. time.
Roughly 6, yeah, she was sleeping on the couch. And, you know, so I went outside, I went out to this door, I got the loader, come around this way, and I looked and she's still sleeping. And I got back to the loader, went around, I had to get some different chemicals. Of course, nothing's ready to go first things. I had to screw around. Let it go. I see any cameras, we got the light, I got chemical out of the bar, went back loaded. I had 10 acres. The tile is there. I called 2 or 3 times, and they didn't call me back, so I don't know why.
And then they tried to efficiently keep coming so they can get that.
But anyway, so I got loaded. I loaded the small 10-acre bags, sprayed the Roy Steelers, which is just right beside the golf course right here in 50. I pulled in, sprayed that. And I come back, and I was going to be burned down, so I had to rinse out quick. Then I had to have the forklift and go up to the barn and get something out of the damn barn, because I had to get Voltrex bolt. I don't want the curbsides. I took down, put in, got loaded up. And I took off. I think I pulled about 2 minutes. I pulled out, went this way down, went up to Brooks Road, and I sprayed. I think you're there. I learned it back when I left here, so I sprayed that one. Then I went to come back down all the way over to 50. Went into Brooklyn right here to Brooklyn Farm. Sprayed out there, about 30 acres. And when I was spraying that 30 acres, wait.
Now, I mean, that's actually, but that's actually.
Well, I sprayed that, I was up there spraying there's 30 acres there, and in the middle of spraying that field. Stephanie called me, our assistant works in the office, Stephanie called me in the house and said, what's going on with Dee? Dee's not, we don't know where she's at. I'm thinking, why is Stephanie calling me? How would Stephanie know Dee's not in the house when she's an employee, why would she be here? So I'm thinking that, and Stephanie goes, well, she's not in the house. I says, okay, Raquel called me and said she can't find her, and I'm thinking, why did Raquel call me? Well, I hang up with Stephanie and I instantly called Raquel. Well, the 3rd time I called her was when she finally answered the phone and says, it sounded like she's kind of upset. She says, where's my mom? And I said, she's sleeping on the couch. Why? And she says, well, she's not here. And both the vehicles are here. I'm like, I'm only about half an hour, 45 minutes, I'll be back. And I says, then I'll come in and we'll figure out what's going on. So when I got here, they were out in the office. I think they were looking at security cameras to see if they could see anything. I came up, drove around, came in the house. I guess somebody went, I walk in, I open the door, and look, see the car garage was. And I walk through here and I walk back to the bedroom. And when I walk in the bedroom, I instantly see the 2 bags on the floor gone. And I walk in the bathroom and I look in there and the curling iron, the hair dryer, and the naked bags. Well, that's a standard issue for her to go to Zach's house. So I'm not really that worried because she's at Zach's house. Well, then Zach shows up and he's telling me we can't find her out. I think you're lying, fucker, because she's at your house. We've been married all these years, and probably 100 times, that's where she's at, was Zach, or Amber. So I'm not really worried at this point. And then he's like, no, she's not. Well, by the 3rd day, now I believe you, okay, that she's not there, because the whole time I'm thinking, you're lying, you know exactly where she's at. If you go by Zach's house on Pentecost, all the blinds and everything are closed now. They've never been closed since he moved into the place, so why?
And you know what this one too, no reason to go in the cabs, and we're
Right.
So he should be.
Right, I'm okay, so now, like I said, the 2nd, 3rd day, I'm like, oh shit, well, yeah, maybe, we don't understand. So now, I mean, excellent, I'm completely puzzled, just like you guys are. I mean, nothing, well, let me go back, because she was gone, I looked in there, the bags are gone, curling iron and stuff. Then when Zach did get here, he come in and looked too, everybody, even though somebody tells you they're gone, they're still gonna look. We go out to the office, and they're looking at the cameras. He's trying to get on the camera system, see if we can find out what's going on. And he walks through, and I walk through there too. But this time I walk through and I go over to my desk, which is in the middle part, in the part money ring is on my desk. So that's, with her not taking Angelina, which every time she's ever left and went to Zach's house, she's always took Angelina, right? And this time she didn't take Angelina, and when I walk through the office, her ring is on my desk. That's what just, something is fucking wrong, right? And then somebody picked her up.
Yeah, a couple of things here, the ring part, but what cameras, how many cameras are here, functioning and not functioning?
They're all functioning, but the problem is the cameras were put in to watch the help and watch, make sure tool wasn't being stolen and office stuff wasn't being stolen, there's nothing in here.
The one in the office is the one where the ring aspect, is that one?
Well, that one isn't, it's in the main office where you walk in the doors.
Mm-hmm.
My office is basically the next was the lunchroom, I get pushed in the lunchroom, that's where my office is, but right there, so if you come in the door down by Todd's, where Todd's office is, the very end, there's no cameras in there. So if you come in the door, come in.
So she could have came in there, dropped out the ring, she'll not be in camera. What about the vehicle, the Hummer, would that, if you make the camera? Camera's not.
Well, the Hummer would have been on there, she went that way, but the Hummer come up and went this way, and the cameras in the shop don't reach out this far.
The Hummer, because she doesn't normally drive that.
Well, she loved to drive, so I cut her off on driving the Hummer, until she would drive it anymore.
And this is someone who's saying, it's basically been a month since she moved that thing.
Since we got back from Florida.
Okay.
And
But then that's what she does.
She drove the Hummer 2-3 times in the last few weeks because she's brought me food to the field with it. She'll drive the Hummer around the field, so.
Yeah.
But she hasn't been driving the Hummer because I had it in park with the camper. I parked it inside because I didn't want it outside. The Hummer, I drove behind the camper, and it only gets like 5-6 miles a gallon. She used to drive it every freaking where. And I'm like, please stop driving it. Just drive it. Well, the Volkswagen gets 50 miles a gallon, but she's gonna be caught that.
No, I got you.
I guess she drives that.
Get that, yeah.
But so I basically told her not to drive the Hummer anymore. So.
But that's like, for whatever reason, but she wasn't taking anything to the field, that's but you really don't know why she got a Hummer, not that, or.
Well, I told you, I think it's because she figured, she knows I can track her and that's why I did that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if my device that I plugged into it was a diagnostic thing that also does the tracking.
Yeah.
My son-in-law had it, and he gave it to me because he bought a vehicle and had it, and it didn't work, so he gave it to me, and I put it in my pickup for a while, and it worked great. Diagnostic glow plugs weren't working and all that, so I pulled it out and I stuck it in the Hummer figure, because it was missing, making noise, it didn't work. When we put it in there, it wouldn't come online, it wouldn't work, so he was going in online to see if he could get it to work. And we forgot it was in there, so I had it in there 6 months, it wouldn't work, do anything. Well, she found it in there, and she said, oh my God, you've been tracking it all this time, even though it never worked, it was good, because now she's like, I'll never find her everywhere.
With that being said, we either of them have anything right now, so you think
Just
that's.
the concept, that's Blake, I can find that,
And that one,
I've never had.
Alright, I guess would be really, the reason for that, you don't, I'm sorry, the Hummer not going down there, is what happens on the drag, or was it? The Hummer, when it was actually down there, so.
I think she was paranoid, thought there was still a tracker in it.
Like, it's only down.
Yeah, I think she knew that this one could be tracked, she went on this one, and then she pulled out, went down there, put the ring in my desk, went back out, and said, oh, fuck, you could probably track this too, because you know where I go.
So in
I don't
theory,
really- I'm talking off the cuff, I'm guessing, I mean, I don't know any of this now.
so in theory, she could make a phone call on, we should get that on her phone, whoever's going to pick her up, in theory.
No, because no, because she's got another phone.
Just go ahead and talk about that, how do you know that?
Well, now I know, when we went to Mexico, I can't find the date. I mean, I have to look back and find it. It's been a while ago. It's been almost 6 months to a year when we were in Mexico. We went down to Mexico. I just kind of blew it off because it wasn't worth the battle. When we went and checked into our room, we was unpacking. There was 2 phones in her suitcase, And I got it out. Well, she had the suitcase open and I went in the other room. And I go back, there's 2 phones in her suitcase bag laying there. That's just, where'd the other phone come from? Whose phone is that? Oh, it was in the room when we got here. I was gonna take it down to the office and turn it in. For vacation, I'm gonna start arguing. I know it wasn't fucking in the room, but let it go. Then when we get back, I think it was that last time. I seen it in her car. It was in the center console. But she's got a phone. She's talking on, and they go in the car. There's another one in here. That's right. What about the phone in their car? I seen that just 2 weeks ago.
What kind of phone was it?
It was an iPhone.
iPhone?
It was at least a 10.
At least a 10?
Yeah, but it's a newer one. But it looked like, you know, one of the ones you get like at Walmart, on the track phone, the burn phones or whatever. It wasn't a one you got. Well,
iPhones look like
iPhones. I mean, it looked like the cases looked like a Walmart like a track phone case. It wasn't the fancy.
Did you ever discuss that with her? You know, I didn't want to argue.
I wasn't gonna bring up an argument. Yeah, it wasn't. At that point, it wasn't worth the argument because I already know the answer I'm gonna get. It's not my phone.
Yeah, and
And the other thing is that she would just tell me that it was, you know, one of the other employees' phone, just someone else's phone. So I really it wasn't worth the battle. I mean, that's, you know, something else we're talking crazy. You got learn to shoot you battles. So I'm guessing that that other phone is who she was using to contact someone. And I don't know how we got.
stronger now. You were totally against it before. Affair. We're looking at your time.
I still don't. I don't think so.
No, you're not giving me any words. Well, I appreciate it.
You know, so I told her that I told her in the garden. I said, we got married for better or for worse. I said, do you still love me? She couldn't tell me no, because she couldn't tell me yes either. I looked her square in the eyes and she's crying. I said, I love you no matter what. It's never gonna change.
That's right. What night was this?
This was Saturday.
Okay.
I do Saturday and Sunday one.
Yeah.
Because you're still up.
Yeah, then I do.
So, but I know that I told her, I said, you know, she's sitting around and she wanted to sell it. And I said, it's not your decision to sell it. It's not. This is ours, it's not yours. But she wouldn't say that, you know, she would come out and say that she didn't love me. She wouldn't come out and say that she did. So that was different than a normal argument too, because normally she always would say yes. And she'd be quiet about it. Yeah. But, I mean, I've been through one divorce. I sure as hell don't want to go through another one, no matter what. It's not worth it.
Last time we were here, you testified about when you took over this investigation. Can you remind me when that was?
That was August of 2022.
Okay, at some point in time, did you interview Dale?
Yes.
And between the time you took over this case and your interview of Dale, what did you do to prepare for that?
Preparing for the interview specifically?
Correct.
We spent a lot of time reviewing his previous statements in these body cam videos, as well as other statements relating to the events that occurred on Sunday morning, 4/25.
Okay. Did you hear Dale Warner discuss the GPS device, or what he called the diagnostic tool?
Yes, and ma'am, I should add, in preparation for his interview, we reviewed a lot of electronic media also, sorry.
Okay. Did you, in fact, do a search warrant for that data?
Yes,
And you received something back from them?
That's correct.
And what exactly did you receive back from that company?
From Agnic and Vinks, they're one and the same. We received a series of information. The bulk of the information were times that the device was accessed to do a live locate. To basically, I'm logging in, I want to see where this vehicle is currently. There was also historical geographic information, where for a certain period of time, the device would store historics of where the vehicle was at certain times, and then also some diagnostic data that was obtained from a vehicle.
Okay, so they sent you essentially 3 separate documents, correct? 3 separate reports?
I'm not certain if there were separate reports. For instance, one of them was in one spreadsheet with different tabs, but essentially those 3 different lines of data, yes.
Okay, and when you indicated that that it was constantly keeping track of that vehicle, how many pages approximately was that particular document, if you know? How much data was on that document?
As far as location data, there's 2 different ways that they tracked it. There's the portion where you could see historics, where, for instance, let's say I wanted to see where the vehicle was last Wednesday. It would tell you that. It would only tell you that to a certain date, depending on the membership the device had. So that was a separate data set than the live locate.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness? Your Honor, I've handed the witness what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 6 and Exhibit 13. Can you identify what Exhibit 6 is for us?
Exhibit 6 is the return from the portion of records that are specific to when someone was logging in to see the live location of the vehicle.
Okay, and how many times was that access to look at the live location?
I believe it was 176 times.
Okay.
From January to August.
Okay, and the Exhibit 33, what is that?
Exhibit 33 is a list of diagnostic notifications
Okay.
that were given to the device.
How many locations or how much information is on there?
There are 4 separate items. 2 are from one day, 2 are from the other. So I'm not certain if those were the same item or not. That makes sense. So there's 4. It could be as low as 2, depending on how you read the document.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to admit People's Exhibit 6 and Exhibit 33.
Same objection as the last time we were here. These are business records that were prepared in anticipation of litigation. Thank you.
People proposed Exhibit 6, 13?
33.
33, thank you. Are admitted before we accept the charge.
Did you hear the statements by Dale about allegations of a second phone?
Did I what? I'm sorry?
Did you hear Dale's statements, allegations that Dee had a second phone?
Yes.
All right, and what did you do as it relates to that?
Finding this potential second phone was critical for the investigation. So we did a number of search warrants that we discussed prior, the fog search warrants, geofence search warrants. Additionally, I did search warrants specifically to Cricket, as that was mentioned that she had done some potential research into buying that phone. And also comparing her phone, her basic phone usage as it relates to her core inner circle to see if there was an anomaly within their contacts also. Essentially, anything I could do technologically to identify that phone, I did and pursued, and I was unable to find it.
Okay. Do you know if in 2021, Dee did in fact purchase a phone?
Yes.
And do you know if, based on the records you received, if that was a second or a separate phone number or phone, or if it was just a transfer from the old phone?
It was just a phone transfer. Her and Dale both purchased phones at the same time while on a trip in Florida in March.
Okay, March of what year?
21.
Okay, thank you. Did you hear Dale speak about allegations of that Dee was suicidal?
Yes.
And what did you do as it relates to that?
If someone were to be suicidal, in my experience, finding a body is not a challenge. The person usually wants to be found, or they're unable to hide themselves post-mortem, obviously.
Object as to, he's not qualified as an expert in suicidal body searches, so I'm objecting to this line of testimony.
I'll lay a foundation, Your Honor. Sir, how long have you been with Michigan State Police?
For over 10 years.
Have you investigated any suicides?
Yes.
Approximately how many?
I've investigated at least 50 suicides.
Okay. And have you investigated homicides?
Yes.
Okay, and how many of those have you investigated?
I've been involved in over 20 homicide investigations.
All right. And as it relates to the allegations of suicide in your training and experience, what did you do?
Again, if someone were to commit suicide, finding a body is not difficult. The person can't hide themselves post-mortem. So in this specific instance, to rule out suicide, when we inherited the investigation, we already knew the body wasn't located on the farm. The body wasn't located where anyone had ever looked. So one of the first steps that we started taking was to plan a large land search. If Dee had committed suicide and had gone somewhere that she had access to, we wanted to search all those areas to ensure that she wasn't there from that purpose.
approximately how much land did you search?
We searched over 3,000 acres.
And were those acres within Lenawee County?
Yes.
And how did you search 3,000 acres?
We had divided the land into separate categories, what I would refer to as a priority area versus a secondary area. The priority area were areas in which we had evidence to support the fact that something may have been buried there potentially.
Okay.
The secondary areas were just land that the family had access to. And by access to, it could be that they owned it, they had a contract to lease it, or someone close to them had given them access for some reason.
Did you use any special equipment?
Yes. So we use ground penetrating radar. We use aerial vehicles, helicopters, drones. We use FLIR technology to detect heat signatures and disturbances. We use cadaver dogs, ground probes, and then all of the areas had foot searches to support those.
Okay. Were you involved in any searches on the Warner farm on Munger Road?
Yes.
Tell me about the equipment that was present at the farm.
The equipment owned by the Warners?
Correct. Sorry.
They have numerous pieces of equipment to support their farming and trucking businesses. They have trucks and semis and trailers. They have a JCB front end loader. They have a Kubota side by side. They have numerous other small ATVs, go karts, things of that nature. A large commercial sprayer.
Okay. Did you hear the statements by Dale Warner that Dee was abusing pills? And
Yes.
that was a possible reason. Okay. And what did you do as it relates to that?
I conducted a number of queries, both from her insurance, from Blue Cross, to get an understanding of what her prescription history was, as well as conducting a MAPS query. MAPS is a database that houses the controlled substances that are prescribed to a particular person.
And do you have any training experience in investigations involving prescription medications?
Yes.
And approximately how many of those have you done?
I've worked on dozens of cases that relate to prescription pill abuse.
Okay. And within those records, how far back did you go looking at prescriptions?
I reviewed records as far back as 2019.
Okay. And did you observe anything that in your training and experience would cause you to believe there was an issue with controlled substances?
Objection. So he's investigated people who use pills. He's not a doctor. He's not a pharmacist. I'm not hearing any medical training. So I don't know how this witness would be able to attest that someone was or was not abusing pills.
All right, I'll withdraw the question. Did you, tell me what types of medications Dee was taking from 2020 till 2021?
Dee was prescribed a number of medications for her migraines. She was prescribed a generic alternative for Xanax, and she was prescribed, she had a couple prescriptions for pain pills, like a hydrocodone.
Okay.
And some weight loss supplements also.
Okay. When you say pain pills for hydrocodone, that were hydrocodone, is that what you classified? Okay. And how many prescriptions for hydrocodone did you observe in those records?
There was none in 2021. And I'd have to refresh my memory for 2020, specific for hydrocodone.
Okay. And do you have that?
I do. It's under the RX tab.
May I refresh the witness? What are you using? His, what are you using? Your
Under the RX tab, there is a MAPS report that details her prescriptions for 2020.
Did that refresh your recollection?
Yes, ma'am.
How many prescriptions in 2020 did she have for hydrocodone?
She had 2 hydrocodone prescriptions that were several months apart.
Okay. And do you know the quantities of those?
I believe each one was, I can't recall. It was not a prolonged prescription.
Okay.
What I remember from reviewing those prescriptions specifically is that they didn't overlap. So it appeared she was given a prescription, had used them, months later gets another prescription, but the first one did not carry her to the second one, if that makes sense.
Okay. Thank you. What date did you indicate that you interviewed Dale again? Dale Warner?
That was the week of Christmas in 2022, I'm sorry.
And where was that at?
That was at the Monroe Post, Michigan State Police Monroe Post.
Who was all present for that interview?
In the interview room,
Correct.
Myself, Detective Sergeant Scott Singleton, Dale Warner, and his attorney at the time, Larry Lee.
And was that interview recorded?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to admit Exhibit 15K that video is approximately 3 hours and 4 minutes and 53 seconds long, we would be asking to admit the portion of 2 hours and 10 minutes and 53 seconds to 2 hours and 51 minutes and 46 seconds.
No objection. Thank you.
Because proposed exhibit 15K is admitted to the courtroom's entrance.
Sorry, I just want to pause quick because I want to show the macaronis. Let me just get them up quick. Okay, so can you see that? Has lost the audio. There's no audio, so that's fine. Let's do that. So these are the macaronis I have so far. That's when you're in 2 months. Then there's that little spinny guy who's not a macaroni, but it's okay. And then I love one. So that's kind of what I've gone with. That's what I was thinking for the memberships. Let me quickly catch up on these. Is it bad? I'm not going to say your name before I read this just in case. Still in my clothes. Well. Jen, I hear you. I don't know the plan either. Hey, Josh is a member. I tried to see like if I could get the mods to at least have their memberships, but I have not found that yet. Okay, I'm going back to focusing. Please behave. If I can first find the message that I had about, what did I have? Oh, on the note of RA going live, I'm going to leave this running until it ends, but you don't have to stick around. I just don't want for rewatch. I just don't want to break it up too much because there aren't really like natural points in the video. There we go. Ouch. Do you have sound now? Okay, wait. I need to figure out the sound. Give me a sec. I'm gonna let's just do this. Stop sharing. Present share screen. Hope I didn't go back too far. Oh, that's a funny little thing there. Hey, Bug Dog is a member. I need like a member. I need like a member. Woot woot. Okay. There. Let's do this.
Right, you want to use it, right, right, okay.
This is, how about next volume?
What do you remember, and I'm referring to the weekend that. In the interview room?
Correct.
Myself, Detective Sergeant Scott, she had 2 hydrocodone. Dee was prescribed a number of medications for her migraines. She was prescribed a generic alternative for Xanax, and she was prescribed, she had a couple prescriptions for pain pills, like a hydrocodone.
Okay.
And some weight loss supplements also.
Okay. When you say pain pills for hydrocodone, that were hydrocodone, is that what you?
Correct.
Okay. And how many prescriptions for hydrocodone did you observe in those records?
There was none in 2021. And I'd have to refresh my memory for 2020, specific for hydrocodone.
Okay. And do you have that?
I do. It's under the RX tab.
May I refresh the witness? What are you using? What are you using here?
Under the RX tab, there is a MAPS report that details her prescriptions for 2020.
Did that refresh your recollection?
Yes, ma'am.
How many prescriptions in 2020 did she have for hydrocodone?
She had 2 hydrocodone prescriptions that were several months apart.
Okay. And do you know the quantities of those?
I believe each one was, I can't recall. It was not a prolonged prescription.
Okay.
What I remember from reviewing those prescriptions specifically is that they didn't overlap. So it appeared she was given a prescription, had used them, months later gets another prescription, but the first one did not carry her to the second one, if that makes sense.
Okay. Thank you. What date did you indicate that you interviewed Dale again? Dale Warner?
That was the week of Christmas in 2023. 2022, I'm sorry.
And where was that at?
That was at the Monroe Post, Michigan State Police Monroe Post.
Who was all present for that interview?
In the interview room?
Correct.
Myself, Detective Sergeant Scott Singleton, Dale Warner, and his attorney at the time, Larry Lee.
And was that interview recorded?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to admit Exhibit 15K. That video is approximately 3 hours and 4 minutes and 53 seconds long. We would be asking to admit the portion of 2 hours and 10 minutes and 53 seconds to 2 hours and 51 minutes and 46 seconds.
Any objection?
No objection. Thank you.
People's proposed exhibit 15K is admitted to the motion presented.
Right, you want to buy some unit, right, right, okay.
Able to turn it up some more.
This is, how about next volume?
What do you remember, and I'm referring to the weekend that, the weekend. The 24th and 25th, that week. So tell us what you remember from Saturday.
Saturday, I think, is the day that Dee called me all upset. She was done. The time the night before I was with my when she brought me to the field. It was from Friday night, I think it was.
I'm having a hard time.
Using the field over. Finished that field title for cartridges. She was gonna take Hazel into the game. She didn't know how it was gonna go. I said, no way, it's done. So I was there putting the title in. She took her in the game. And then so she called and said, we're done. I was confused, and she had talked to me the rest of the day. I think that day, Saturday, that's the day Todd and I go down to Perrysburg or to pick a truck up and bring back the same day. Brought the truck back home. And I think I was, I can't remember if I was spraying or spraying fertilizing girls. No, I went over to town to check the cattle that night. I think Amy, that's not Amy picked Hazel, you know, she on that stage. Saturday night would be
last night, she was talking about what she meant by I'm done, I'm done. And that's when I asked her what she wanted to do. She just wanted to stay and watch the kids or what she wanted to do, and that's when she started getting migraine. Well, she got some meds out of the cupboard, took them. She had 8, so she got, I think she said she got pizza, subs or something. On breakfast burritos, I think it was from the stand in Tecumseh that day. So I got them on the cooler, warmed it up, had to eat. I laid down, had a movie in. I was sleeping in the living room. I got up the next morning, I think it was around 6 or a little before. Ran outside. I think I got the commode around, got some kind of barn, I got the JCB out. Pulled out some big trash on the building, on the loading, going to spray her out. I got 1, 2, sprayed the wheat, I think sprayed the wheat rice first. Down the road, come back, I had to rinse out. I loaded up with herbicide for, it was burned down, next. So loaded up around 240 point sulfate. I had to go back on instead. And then I sprayed Brooks. Then from Brooks, I went to Brooklyn, to John Towski's. I think that's when Stephanie called me. I was in Brooklyn, I think it was Stephanie called me. I want to know where Dee was at. I said, she's at home on the couch sleeping. And I was told why Stephanie was calling me instead of Raquel, because she said Raquel called her looking for her mom. So I ended up with Stephanie and I tried calling Raquel. I think I called her 3 or 4 times before she answered. And she said, they couldn't find mom. And I'm like, well, she's on the couch. I just left her from hours ago. She says, no, she's not here. I said, okay, I want to string, but I'll be home, in half an hour, I'll be back. So that's when I finished ringing with the sprayer, come back there home. I don't remember if I pulled the office or pulled it. It seemed like I pulled it in the house. And went in the house. He wasn't there, she was in the house anywhere. And I walked in the bedroom, looked around. And that's when I noticed that her bag's sitting in the bed going, and her made a bag, stuff in the bathroom was going on. I just took down the bags, she said, Zach's. I'm like, no, Zach's here. She's not there. I made sure she had to pick him up. She said, oh, the car's here. I said, well, I was here too. I said, Zach, no. And then Raquel went in the bathroom, looked around, and she agreed with me because she said, well, mom's hairspray gone off the counter. Hell, I wouldn't know what hairspray she got. When Raquel picked out, she took her hairspray. She didn't take Raquel's hairspray because hers was on the counter. So then, I think I went out, pulled out front to the office, and hindsight now, looking back, this is weirder than weird to me. Dee's been gone an hour to 2 hours, and the kids are here all in panic, and she's left countless times. This is weird. And then Zach's in the office going through the security cameras, trying to figure out where his mom's at. He wasn't going through the security cameras, he was deleting shit off the cameras because he picked his mom up and he wanted no tracks.
I'm sorry, depending on anytime, I appreciate the information, but specifically the Saturday, can you describe the source of Dee's anger? What caused her to get upset that day? Can you talk to us about that?
I guess she got into it with Terry, one of our drivers, over something his girlfriend or his wife or his ex-wife or to be ex-wife had done. I guess they had a big argument, he quit. And then she got into an argument with Todd that day over dispatching or Terry or who knows what else they were arguing over. He just said he called her out, said, I know what you've been doing. You've been taking this money, I know you've been doing this. And I think she'd been hanged, she couldn't hide it anymore.
It's been told to us that you had informed the employees, however, that it happened, that she was taking Xanax and she didn't take kindly to that. Can you describe that to us?
I did what now?
So we were told that you had informed, whether it was Todd or Terry or both of them, that Dee was taking Xanax, and that was a source, a portion of her being upset that day.
There was no voice that she was taking Xanax like that.
Okay. The way it was presented to us was, and I'm paraphrasing, Dale went behind her back and told the employee she's taking Xanax, and that way her that she wanted people to know, essentially.
No, I never told him like that. They don't really bring on see counselors. That's what I never told him he's taking Xanax and that stuff.
Okay. So outside of the phone call you had for the soccer game, can you go back to that? What happened from that?
I didn't talk to her about she would answer. I tried calling her several times, but she wouldn't answer her phone. I just finished, I can't remember, we finished with Thailand. I can't remember if I went to the spray more. But I know I had to take Todd down to, Richard, that was the day I took Todd down to Perrysburg to get one of the trucks to bring back home. And I asked Todd on the way, and he said, yeah, him and Dee got into it, but he didn't really say much
other than I called her out, and, you know, Terry quit today, and Terry quit now, what the hell am I gonna do, my best driver stuff.
What was your instinct then? Do you think this was gonna resolve itself, or was you trying to just stack kind of comment?
I figured, you know, I'm gonna have to go out talk to Terry, come back to work on Monday, this will all go over and be done.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna go in the house tonight, you know, I'm thinking this, I'm gonna go in the house tonight, I'm gonna get my ass chewed for something that I know nothing that went down, I'm gonna get chewed up because I didn't stick up for her with the Terry argument. So I know I'm gonna lose this battle already, even though she's 100% wrong, so I'm just gonna have to fight with them, she argued with Todd, thinking, well, the last thing I need to do is have Todd quit too, because then we'll really be screwed. So I'm from the yes, you know, argue screwed out, I mean, tomorrow, I'm gonna have to go talk to Terry, and come back to work, same time, same thing, well, it'll be tomorrow, because that's Saturday, so Monday. And I talked to him, get him back, and get it figured out, you know, normally should be gone for a couple days, and she'll be back.
Thinking at that time, thinking about Saturday, with how upset she was over this argument with her employees, essentially, Terry, what do you think her mindset was like?
I don't know, I mean, I don't know anymore, but she was, I mean.
Some of the statements you made in the past were that you were concerned she was using her pills and that she may be depressed. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and she was depressed. I think she was, well, you know, she was upset and depressed, and she didn't know what she was going to do now because, you know, her best driver quit, Todd's driver quit, so the hotel's going to happen with the trucking company. She can't do it. That's why she was saying, we're done. Nothing else to me, I didn't know. A lot of this shit was going on.
Okay.
It was still been plenty corn and getting crops in mode because, you know, for April 25th, we're go day.
Because it was a busy time of year in general?
It's a busy time of year. Okay. April 25th is like, on a calendar pretty much every year, I start planting corn on April 25th.
Okay. Barring weather or whatever.
Yeah, barring weather. Okay. This is the day I started. Before this is too early. This is the day we started.
Okay. All right. And you come home on Saturday, and what happens then?
I come home on Saturday. I see she's at the house. And I call my son, he's still spraying fertilizer. So I go in the house to see, and she said, she's questioning me about, I asked her what's going on with Angelina. And she says, Angelina's going to my brother's house. And I'm like, why? It's like 8 o'clock at night. Why is she over there now? Because Amy called, she's going over there. Okay, if I gotta go to town and do chores, check the cattle, I'll take Angelina with me. No, Amy's coming to get her. Okay. So I go over and the towns, check the cattle, feed them, talk to them, feed them, all that and stuff. Okay, I just over there was doing it. Come back, come in the house, and it seemed like I met Amy at the door. She was coming. I can't remember if Amy was there when I left or when I came back. But Amy was there. She didn't say nothing. She initially left and went in the house. And started talking to Dee, and she's all upset. And I said, okay, sit down, we'll talk about things. She says, we're all done, we're all done. I was like, I know you told me this. Terry quit. I said, yeah, I heard Terry quit. Todd's upset with me. I says, well, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to just stay home and take care of Cora and the kids? What do you want to do? At first she tried starting a big fight. And that's when I tried to sit down talking to her. And then she got pissed. She says, you're using this counselor shit on me. And I'm just trying not to say anything to sit home because it would be even worse. And I'm like, no, honey, just sit down, talk it out, and figure it out. And she's talking to me. She's still mad about Terry. She's going on and telling me how Terry's girlfriend did this or did that. I'm like, honey, it's Terry's business. It's not ours. You won't back me up on what I do. I says, honey, I can't back you up on something you're on. I can't tell Terry what to do with his own life. And I can see that she's starting to get migraine because she's I'm over. You're here and she's looking over here talking. Like she's talking to me. I says, you getting migraine? Yeah. I says, you can't see her. You can't even know. Did you eat? No. Did you anything today? No. I says, you have to eat. That's why you're getting migraine. So I went over and got some stuff out there. So I started cooking. That's when she said, I got some breakfast burritos at Tecumseh. They have stand or something set up. So she got those out. She got over and she started to cut it. I think she cut her finger that she was doing. I said, stop. I cut it, warmed it up. When we ate some breakfast, she ate a little bit. I says, are you feeling any better? Yeah, and I could tell she wasn't because her face was sagging just a little bit. And her words were a little bit slurred. She said, I gotta take one of my pills. So she went over to the counter, went through her pill vials and gallon and took it. And we went inside and we're talking. She still eating. Says, you gotta drink something too because you're getting dehydrated. That's why you're having this problem. And she's like, no, and she's just I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I said, just lay down, rest, watch a movie. You know, that's what I did. And she just rubbed her back a little bit. She was supposed to put pressure on her head to make her feel a little better. Rubbed her back, her neck, and she seemed to be getting better. She's talking a little bit, and I thought things were getting better. You know, we went to sleep. And I got up in the morning, she's there, and I just sneaked out because, you know, she'd been out struggling and trying to work.
You had previously described this as one of the worst arguments you had had. Can you describe that to us?
It was one of the worst arguments that we've had in a way that she's never said we're all done, and I was confused at what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, I get into it more, we're all done. And now a year and a half later, she knew she couldn't cover the line anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The money that she took, the stuff they done in the computer, the deleting stuff, they know it's all gonna be found now.
Okay.
She can't hide it.
You had previously stated that you gave her some medicine.
I never gave her any medicine.
Okay, any idea why you might have said that then?
Yeah, I don't recall saying that because she always had her own medicine up.
Okay. No idea. Wait, you might have been mistaken about a different day or something?
Maybe I went to pick medicine up for her at the pharmacy.
Okay, that specific day or another time?
We'll cover it another time. Okay. I didn't get anything for her that day.
Okay. So I want to be clear, you did not physically give her any medicine, the medicine she obtained herself or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. And you only saw her take,
I didn't see what she took.
Okay.
Living room here, the medicine she had in the counter, she went over the gap, but she was doing
You're referring to the counter with the lid over kind of the dining room table?
The bar that's off to, it's got the wine rack in it.
That, okay. You guys took it together on the phone over there? Okay.
Yeah, that cover right there is where she had all the medicine. Her medicine was there, and the rest of the medicine, like for aspirins and normal household stuff, was all over in the kitchen. Okay. I kept it over there. She kept all hers separate over there, so. Away from everything. But I was over by the kitchen part, getting, the food warmed up, and she's, I'm gonna get a pill or whatever. She went over there, got some out of cover, took it, come back and sat down, and the food she ate.
Okay. And then what time do you and her fall asleep?
Oh, God, I was thinking it was about 12 o'clock, probably. I was thinking it was later, but it was around 11, 12 o'clock.
Okay. Can you describe that?
Just like down and sleep.
Where?
Right in the living room.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Okay, specifically where
on the floor.
Okay, is that common?
Yeah.
Okay, how often do you sleep on the living room floor?
I sleep on it every day.
Oh, really? Okay, why is that?
We always did in our old house, we always just lay in front of the TV and watch TV and lay on the floor and slept.
Okay, and you slept there all night, each of you?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what time did you wake up?
It was around 6 o'clock.
And what's a normal morning for you? What do you, and great details you tell me, what do you wake up?
I get up, I'll get my clothes on, use a brush my teeth, grab my watch, my phone, get dressed, and take my blood pressure pill. I take one pill every morning, and I head off.
Okay, now that is in general, or that's what happened that Sunday morning?
That's what I have today too. So
Okay.
every morning, get up.
And how long does that process take you?
10:15 that morning, I think I had to go downstairs because Angelina, that's right, Angelina, I put the transplants. We did them all. You've ever seen the transplants downstairs? Yeah.
What's the transplant, sorry?
We started vegetables.
Yeah.
Trays, it's trays downstairs, and I think the day before Angelina and I just put the seeds in. I think I went down that morning, I had the water before I left. So I ran downstairs for water and the transplants. I went downstairs twice. Bring a can of water down, water the transplants, come up, got my stuff, my clothes on it. I went.
Okay, so I want to start over really slow. So you wake up, you're on the floor, and what's the first thing you do?
I'll get up and walk over, take my blood pressure pill, and start getting my clothes on because I'm in uniform in the garage.
Okay.
So I'll get up, I'll go over, get a glass of water, try to do it every morning. First thing I do is take my blood pressure pill, you forget. Get that out, take my bill, on the garage, pick the uniforms up off the floor, so I took off the uniform on the floor, pick them up. Came out the garage, get my new uniforms out, come in, put them on, right, go to bed, brush my teeth. I back out, I have to grab my phone, my watch. This is my routine I do every day.
Okay.
And then on the calendar, I always make myself notes what I need to do for the day. I don't have my paper, but that day actually I had to know where I was supposed to go spray and what I needed to do, so that I didn't forget anything. That's why I was separating that corner before we talked on the phone. I went that quick. I went out the back door, got in the Kubota with the gator. Usually I make a circle around the back of the farm, and what I'm doing is I go out and I'm looking at the grass. There's a lot to do on the grass. I'm driving, I'll stick my hand out, my hand all that. And I'm gonna put different stuff in the tank. If it's dry, I'm gonna put some different additives in. Something like that around, get the sprayer started, I'll come back, I'll go get the JCB out of the barn. If I have a cooler for lunch, I'll go back in the house, grab it out of the walk-in, take it with me. Then I'll go out and start loading up the sprayer.
Do you typically shower in the morning? No, you shower in the evening, I presume?
Usually I go to bed.
Okay, so I want to make sure I'm clear. Wake up, get a blood pressure pill, grab your clothes in the glass of water, grab your clothes in the garage, come to the bedroom, maybe the bathroom, brush your teeth, and be dressed.
I do that out in the kitchen.
Okay, you're dressed and we're just in the house, you're getting rolling. And then you grab your phone, your watch, and then do you eat any breakfast in the morning or you're ready to leave?
No, I'm not doing any breakfast.
Okay, so specifically on that Sunday morning, what happens from that? You're dressed, you take a blood pressure pill, you have your phone, your watch, what do you do next?
I'll try to brush my teeth, get my phone, I'll go out the door, and I gotta go check the dogs.
Which, I know you got a bunch more right there. Which store is common for you?
I'm not sure, whichever one,
Okay.
it don't matter.
Okay.
So sometimes they go out the backside and go, or sometimes they go, usually I try to go out to the garage.
Okay.
Or the laundry room. I mean, it just, wherever I park the motor, where, you know, I've got to feed the dogs first thing, I go through the grass, I gotta grab two cans of dog food. Or if I don't have dog food, I gotta go out to the shop to get it, to take it, so I mean, just.
Okay, and I apologize. So you leave out through whatever door, that's the first thing you do?
First thing I'll do is I'll go, right now, I'll let the dogs out, feed them, then I'll get the motor, they have to catch over on me and see if there's any dew on it. When I'll start the sprayer up, I'll check all that stuff on it. Then hopefully I remember to take my fucking list that was on the counter. If I don't, I get the correct list. I'm going to spray. Let's see what chemistry I got with it. Where I got to go.
Okay.
So that day, you know, I had to finish the week from Leroy's was on my list. I think.
And how many acres is Leroy's? How many did you spray?
I have to look sure, but I think it was 110. It took me more time to get it on me down and it didn't do feel.
Okay. How long is 10 acres only take it?
10 minutes.
Okay.
So it takes me longer to unfold. It's right there. Then what Leroy's done, I grab it in the week, come back. It seems like I had a flush of it, so I went out of the barn 3 times with water, pulled them back on the road, you know, straight through the road, for instance, out 3 times, I go back in. Look and see if I got any other chemistry, then I'll take either the loader or the JCB. Come over to the front buildings where we keep the chemicals in the barn. I keep some back right over, but all the small stuff, it's in little jugs or little things we keep up by the office, so if somebody shows up to buy some, so the girls can go to the barn, just get a jug outside from the barn. And so I'll go there and get what I need for all my jobs, put them in the back of the Kubota, drive back to the barn, or if it's more than within the Kubota, I'll take the JCB up there and forklift and bring a pallet out. So that morning, I think I made 2 or 3 trips with the Kubota in different jugs because I have different batches of them. That's all on my sheet, right, everything out on my sheets.
Okay.
So my log sheet, I mean, if you ask what time I went to Leroy's, I mean, we go get my sheet and it tells what time I loaded the barn, what time I got to Leroy's, and when I'm back, because I'm loading the next one up. I write down the gallons and everything for the tank in the barn. And that's, and when I do it in the sprayer, I write down the sprayer when I leave the field. I try to write down, you know, the acres I did it, whose name it is. So I'm trying to double up so I don't miss anything.
Right.
I'm spraying. So then I've got those 2.
Okay. So you walk in the house, you go to feed the dogs, and what's the next thing you do?
So I got in the Kubota and drove around, so I'll take the sprayer.
And you gotta talk to me. When you say Kubota, what are you referring
The
to?
4-wheel little, what you call it, a little ATV.
Okay. Like a side by side with a park area?
Yes.
Okay. And where's that normally parked?
It's usually parked out by the dogs right behind the garage.
Okay. And you get
right in the leases at night.
and you get in that, and where do you go from there?
That morning I drove around, because I was spraying, I drove around the boundary of the farm. And I stick my hand out, and the grass is up, so I'll feel the grass, see if there's dew on it or what it is.
Okay. And then what?
Then I go to the sprayer, and I start, I'll check the oil, started up, so it's warming up, building air.
Okay.
And that's when I'll look at my list, let that load.
Okay. And what happens from there?
I loaded up and went to Leroy's, sprayed that, and I come back, and I rinse out, and I work again. Went up to Brooks, sprayed that.
Okay.
And then I loaded up enough to make, I loaded a 100 acre batch, so I had enough to do mine. And then I went and did the balance that I had sprayed in Brooklyn.
Okay. And can you describe to us what you did with the JCB that morning?
I would have pulled up, that was, I pulled it out of the barn, I pulled it around by the house. Oh, I think it was used just for trash that day. And I had to put the forks in when I pulled out back, and I had to move, there was a pallet that I had to move ammonium sulfate into the barn, I think it was.
Okay.
But usually I use the bucket, I'm dumping 2 anything else jugs, so all that trash goes in the bucket to take it out to the burn pile.
Okay. You said you pulled it up to the house, you describe that to us?
I think I pulled up behind the house, I think I had to run and grab my damn sheet, my load sheet, I don't remember for sure. I took the Kubota around, it was out, the dry sprayer was started, and I got the JCB, the loader, pulled around by the house, and I run in, I had to grab something out of the house, and I run back out, got the loader, back out, and put the forks on it.
And what did you see in the house when you could run back in there?
With the JCB, didn't see anything in the house, he was still sleeping.
Okay, she's still asleep. And at this point, this seems like a silly question. Was anyone else on the property or in the house?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And he's still about 6:30.
That was my next question. How long had it been?
I think it's about 6:30 probably when I finally get to that point. I mean, maybe close, 6:30, 7. I mean, you got time running around, moving, had to start the sprayer up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's running, I'm getting chemical out, and go grab the other loader, pull it out there, move the pallet with forks.
Okay, do that.
Yeah.
This is going to help me if you don't know about farm talk. When you say you leave the house, you go and just show me, I think I know, show me where the dogs are.
Over here.
Okay, and then you jump in the boat out?
We'll usually set them over here by the house.
Okay.
Jump in the back there, pull it around this way. I usually drive around through here, field grass.
That was gonna ask you which field you're referring to.
I usually come around through here to get some grass. Or
Okay.
in the morning, or I come around through here or whatever
Okay.
to see how wet it is.
Okay. And is that common for the farmers to check the grass each morning, or that's just part of what you do, so you know what you gotta do?
This week, that's my routine.
Okay, okay. And then where was the sprayer parked? Is that
Sorry,
where?
being a little dark.
Okay. And you started and leave it there while you're loading everything else up? You said it goes up air? Is that so we go air to spray?
Well, suspension goes up, goes there.
You started, okay. And where was the JCB parked?
JCB's inside the barn here.
Okay. And you said you pulled up to the house, can you show me?
We pulled out here, pulled around this way, pulled up over here. I'm gonna grab what I need in the house, come back out, went back down through, and I'll get stuff out of the barn, move over here.
Okay, you might have some notes on your videos, okay?
Yes, I
So you said this is the Kubota?
Yep.
Could you just draw next to the Kubota bus?
I think the Kubota's in here.
You got a pen there, Mark? Did you screw that on my work? We're feeling on all fronts here, Frank.
Maybe it's the paper, it's a paper thing, kind of, I don't know.
There we go. And then, where is the, if you can mark the sprayer, is it out on the paper, that
It's
mark?
not the paper, so
Okay.
I'll go here.
And where's the JCB parked in the morning?
JCB's in here.
And then could you just draw next on there for me, just to make sure I understand? Different people call the buildings different things, so I want to make sure. Okay, what do they call the dry barn, what is that?
This is the tractor barn.
Oh, okay, and then there's a wet barn, does that make sense? That's, yes, I mean, it's good people. Okay, and then you pull out of the JCB, and can you show me where you park it behind the house?
I'll pull up here.
Okay, can you mark that for me?
I'll pull up right about here.
Okay, and then, where do you go from there?
Where do I go from here?
Yeah.
I'll go back out here, get stuff out of the barn, here, stuff out here.
Okay. And then what happens after that? You drive the JCB over there, you're here in the JCB, and then what happens?
I go this way, goes right.
Okay. And when you, how many minutes do you think from when you were in the house to when you got over here and left in the sprayer, how many minutes is that, if you had to guess, that Sunday morning?
Before I left with the sprayer.
Correct.
Boy, I have to look in my book, tell me how to look what time.
If you had to guess, you think it's an hour process?
It's an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
And
And
I'm trying to remember if I had to rinse before I loaded the weed spray out, or if I rinsed. I don't remember the old book that I had, so the doctor's boy had my book.
no, you know, I don't believe so.
Because I keep that book and they're on the shelf, so if I spray for atrazine, say, with it yesterday, now I'm going out and I got spray weed, I'll look at that book, I had atrazine there, oh fuck, I cannot spray weed with atrazine.
I see.
So now I'm gonna rinse out, so I gotta rinse
Those
out.
are the papers that you gave me.
Yeah,
We were up there, okay.
yeah. They were real, no.
Yeah, that was a
Do you know what somebody's nickname is now? Hummer.
I got to fix it.
Oh, really?
They won't let me have to fix it. That's all I'm saying. No. I mean, if I'm looking at the book, I think like I had to come off rinse. If I had to rinse it an hour. If I didn't rinse out, if I looked at half an hour, 45 minutes, I might get all the gun because the sprayer's in here. JCB's here, I can come up here, got some stuff out of the building in front here, took back. Measured it out because it's an house, it's just a little house, you gotta really measure the shit out, right? Scrape it out and pull it out.
Okay.
I mean, sure, you have the camera, they pull the bar, we show you pulling it out, sprayer.
Okay, and specifically with the JCB, I think there's a little question I have to ask that's out there. So the Justice for Heat crew, I shouldn't say that, at the time, I think the adult children perhaps Parker had seen the JCB tracks, and that's why they could actually pull up to the houses. Is that accurate?
They didn't ask you.
That's
They didn't ask you?
correct.
They didn't ask you to pull it out.
Okay. Okay, that was understanding, because the JCB tracks were where the Hummer was parked. Is that news to you?
Just me, I was parked out front.
Yeah,
So then I pulled it on the back around behind the house later that day and I pulled it up next to the grass where I always parked it.
right. So when they had seen the Hummer, you already moved back to the house, and the JCB tracks were underneath it.
Oh, probably,
Okay,
probably.
and that's when you pulled up to the house?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
and
the JCB, yeah, the JCB I pulled up there, the Hummer's out front, I never leave anything out front because I don't want somebody to mess with it, leave the keys and everything.
yeah,
So I jumped in the Hummer, pulled back around the house, and I pulled it over next to the grass and parked it.
in the normal spot, essentially.
Well, normal spots in the garage, but we've been parking it outside because I think she had something else in the garage with her caddy, or she parked in the middle of her caddy. So I just pulled it over next to the grass, so I wait, because the rest of the area there is where the rest of us park. I park my pickups there, Jared, or whoever pulls in, that's where they park.
Okay, so you got the JCB, pull back up to the house, because you forgot your sheet or something, and you get back in and you go back to the barn below the sprayer. And when you're in the house, she's sleeping, right, okay. So how did the Hummer get from behind the house to the office?
You that morning?
Yeah.
That was there when I came back. That's where I'm seeing my front.
Okay, where was it when you left?
when I left, it was on my house. I think, was it over? I don't remember.
Okay.
Seeing the number. I mean, it's a lot. I don't
Okay.
remember. But I do remember grabbing it from the front of the office and parking it back behind the house, because we never leave anything on my roof.
Okay. So was behind the house when you left?
I don't remember. I don't. I mean,
Okay.
I guess easier when you left to go into Brooks or whatever. I was parked in front of it.
I don't remember seeing it up there. I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't remember sitting up there. It's one of those things I didn't look that way. I mean, I can tell you where these farm machinery is. I can't tell you what the number's at. It's just not something that I'm paying attention to, I guess.
Okay. So then you get a sprayer, you go into Leroy's and you spray, you said, Ryan, how many acres? 10?
I think it was 10.
10 acres.
I mean, look at the book.
Okay. And you come back and then what happens?
I think I had to flush out to go to the next spray job. So then I would probably jump in the Kubota again and pulled out front, or if I had enough, I don't remember if I had to kind of string the bar or not.
Okay.
I loaded up, if I had rinsed out, I pulled it back 3 times and rinsed out, all that came loaded. What's the next job?
And the next job, remind me, I'm sorry, you're going to, was it Brooklyn?
It was on Brooks.
Brooks, I'm sorry, okay. And then where do you go from there?
That one's Brooklyn.
Okay. And then what happens then?
That's when Stephanie called me and asked me where do you do that.
Okay. And what do you do after that?
I had back to the house and they go spraying.
Okay. And who's there when you get home?
The kids were there.
The kids meeting, I'm sorry.
So it was Zach, Cal. I think that was it, was Zach, Cal, and Dustin. I think TJ was there.
Okay. And you said they're in the office, and what are they doing?
They're going through the computers, looking for the security things or cameras.
Okay.
And I was dumbfounded they had codes to get into it.
Yeah. And when you access the cameras, what are you looking for?
I never accessed them in the office. I had to code to get into it.
Yeah, when you did access the cameras, what were you looking for? I don't have to silly question, but
I was looking to see, what was going on in the morning or wherever they moved. And I didn't look at anything other than Zach was there because they had me locked out. I couldn't get into it.
Okay, well, there's actually no doubt you accessed the cameras that morning. I'm just asking you what you were looking for. It's just like, we're trying to do the sheriff's department, so we just need you to explain everything as silly as it sounds,
I mean, they were looking to see if what cars were buying would pick it up.
Okay, and that's what you did when you accessed them?
I didn't access them. Zach already had them on the screen.
They will be constantly on to each other?
I didn't look.
Listen, there's actually no doubt you access the cameras. If you were just looking for your wife, then just say you're just looking for your wife.
I was looking for my wife, but I didn't access the security cameras anymore.
You have access to them on your phone, correct?
Yes, if it'll work, then it would not work.
Okay, so when you tried to access the cameras, what were you doing?
I was looking to see who was in the office, if he was on the cameras.
Okay, so you're just looking for you until I try to get
Yeah, looking for me, see where she's at. Like, I already figured she's at Zach's house, but.
Okay, and that's specifically from your phone, that's what you're attempting to do, right?
Right.
Okay, and is that, I think it's called milestone? Milestone? Is that an app you typically have problems with? I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Okay, what are you supposed to be able to do from the app?
We're supposed to be able to see the cameras and see what's going on the cameras.
Okay, and how often would you try to use it?
I would try to look at it on and off. Every other day, once a week or something, I look at it.
And what percentage of the time do you think it works?
Maybe 5-10%.
It's not too good of a track
No,
record.
I mean, if you're in the office and you want to look at the camera system when you're in the office, it'll work. If you're in the house, it'll work. If you're anywhere else, it don't work.
Okay.
Because you have internet access, I guess. But with your phone, you shouldn't have to, and it don't work.
And do you have any other issues with your phone, or just with that app, do you think? This application itself?
I don't know, your phone's voice activation, and a lot of stuff don't work,
But by and large, it's this application gives you issues. Okay. Do you pretty much carry your phone with you at all times?
most of the time.
Okay. So typically that Sunday you have your phone with you all day?
I'm pretty sure I have it with me all day.
Okay.
The only time you don't is if you drop it somewhere or you backtrack trying to find it.
Yeah, you and me both. And that Sunday, do you remember about what time Stephanie called you and asked where Dee was?
I was thinking it was around 9 o'clock or 9:30.
Okay. And then, until that point, as far as you knew, she was at home, right? Okay.
So I think I texted her, telling her about spring so that she knew where that.
Okay. But until then, things are normal. You don't know any different, right? Essentially. Okay. And then, what were you doing? Why did you access the Cadillac that morning? What did you go to the Cadillac for in the garage?
Access the Cadillac for. I don't remember anything Cadillac anymore. I don't remember anything Cadillac anymore.
You accessed the Cadillac. You couldn't do why you would have done that?
No. I didn't get in the Cadillac anymore. What would I get in it for?
I'm not
Unless
sure.
there's something in it, I get out of the car.
I'm not sure.
If I opened the door, got it out, but I didn't. Nobody got in for it. She's got the key, I don't have the key.
I'm not saying you drove it, I'm just saying you accessed it for some reason, you don't recall why.
I don't access it, I got anything. I looked at it on my app on my phone.
I did, I'm not certain what you did physically with the vehicle, but you had access to the car.
No, but I looked at my phone to see where it was at.
Okay.
That would be accessing it.
Okay, I'm not familiar with what you can do with that.
So I'm sorry, I'm start looking at my phone, it tells me where it's at.
Okay.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, tell us about that, I'm not familiar with that.
Just, I'm sorry, you got the sorry app on your phone, you can start your car, you can lock it with your phone.
Oh, okay.
You guys are looking at the button and tell me what car's at, it's in the garage.
Okay, and for what purpose are you doing that morning?
Well, they told me mom's not there, I'm gonna see the car's there.
Okay, so you would have accessed that app and it tells you where the car is, and that's why you would have done to see where she was.
Yeah, see the car's, if the car's almost supposed to be home.
Okay, and what about when you tried to locate her iPhone? For what purpose was that?
See what she's at.
Same thing.
Everybody's trying to find her iPhone.
Okay. Okay. And it described to us that when things weren't comfortable with getting through you, she didn't like you knowing where she was. Did she know you had access to those things at the time?
I think so.
Was that ever pointing attention in recent times? You know, overall, there have been disagreements about that. What about leading up to this incident?
No. Okay, right, she knew where I was at, and she could access my phone.
Okay.
It's kind of safety if I don't, she can get a hold of me, she can find my phone, see where I'm at from her, you know, field, same with her, they didn't find her.
Okay. Do you have any more questions about Sunday?
It's me. If you're also working, we've been going for about 35 minutes and it's time for a stretch and a little bit of a breather. Is my heater too loud? Because it's tiny, old little fan one and it is a bit noisy. Now I need to catch up. Holy moly. Hi, Marsha. You guys are making me hungry. Also, I don't know what potato salad you guys are talking about, but the one with mayo, don't like that. So this testimony, hey, Sparkler, I think you're new. I don't think I've seen your name here. Wait, can't hear what? Can hear what? Can't hear it. What's happening? Oh, the heater. Jeez, Vicky Mac, wakey wakey. Josh, did you start a channel? Now I need to remember if I go here. And sorry, I'm busy writing about Josh. I need to know which channel. Are you using the one that is linked to your username? So I'm busy writing about George Zimmerman. And I don't know how many people followed that. It's a very political case. There's a lot of so here's the thing. As a journalist in South Africa working with media in the US, it is so different how much opinion, subjective information, etc. can be added there. Here, it's got to stick to facts. So while I'm sifting through, there are so many varying things depending on which site you look at. There's so much information. I'm on page 4, but what I do is I basically take all of my resources, paste them into a document, label them source 1, source 2, source 3, source 4, source 5, and then I put it into ChatGPT, ask for, yep, that's the one, exactly that one. Ask for the key facts and timeline, then I can match up which facts actually are the same, because sometimes with US media, which would never happen here, even ages can be different, and that's not something. So I'm very, very pedantic about keeping it objective, journalistically ethic, etc. I can't write and listen to something. So I can't promise that I heard everything in the conversation. And thankfully, ChatGPT gets better every day and can summarize, and I can go back and see the parts that I'm like, wait, I think I heard that. Or I can ask a question like, hey, I'm confused about this part. But so far, I can summarize what's been said in almost one sentence. No, please keep blowing chat up with food stuff. I don't mind. My chat rate right now is through the roof, and my channel has hit the browse page, so I don't mind at all. So basically what Dale Warner is saying is that Dee had reached her breaking point with the financial troubles. She was abusing over-the-counter medication and prescription medication. It had all reached too much for her, and she left on her own. And he was also a bit weird about the cameras. The camera thing still, like, if you were in yesterday's live, this whole camera thing is very confusing because allegedly the IT guy was the only one with access, but then Dee's son had access and Dale had access on that day. It's very something's funny with the cameras, and I'm hoping if it goes to trial, then we can see all of that as well. I can't listen to music because it lands up being a dance party, but I generally, like, court for me is the perfect thing to listen to while I work because it's like stimulating that background part of my brain, and it just helps me get into flow because it's kind of like it gives me the same feeling as like working in a coffee shop or a library where there's like chatter and there's a little bit of interesting stuff. Like every now and then I need to do boring things, find images, and it's just like my brain just loves it. And now, before I stretch, the only reason I realized that we had been listening for a while was because I was busy clearing out the videos I'd downloaded. And I was like, whoa, I'm on live stream. Wakey, wakey. So I'm glad you guys were having fun. Okay, so let's head back to Dale Warner. Why did his name sound weird? There is also, when I did the recap, there was something in this testimony that says Dale mentioned scenarios such as her potentially being with a drug cartel in Jamaica. I haven't heard anything about that. So yeah, if you heard that, let me know. Yes. So Steve, this is why I sometimes have to. So what I do now, especially with RA, where like I get along with so many people, is I put it on my phone. I plug my phone in far away from my computer, and I work like that. The recap, the link to it is in this video's description. Haven't started an official channel yet. Josh, I don't mind helping at all. Are we subscribing to the one that you're chatting on? My recommendation would be yes, because that's the one that lots of us know and go to. So I subscribed to that one, but it's not the same one that other people subscribe to. You can also send me the link on Instagram and we can add it. But I would suggest keeping this one because then people can right-click. When you comment on a normal video, they can right-click and go to your channel. It's much easier. Oh, Jen, if I'm chatting, I'm not listening. I can promise you that. If I'm having fun in chat, I'm not listening at all. Okay, let's get back. Also, this must have hit the browse page because it looks like at one stage there were 28 people. Okay, let's go.
Do you recall what Dale Warner indicated was missing along with Mrs. Warner?
Yes.
What items were those?
Her purse, what he referred to as her go bags, some personal care products like makeup and a curling iron, her wallet, including her driver's license, her passport, and her phone.
We talked a bit about search warrants that were done as it relates to both Dale and Dee and their either cell phones or cell service. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did you have Dale Warner's physical phone from April 2021?
Not initially. When we started assisting the sheriff's department, we seized that from him.
Okay, and that wasn't something the sheriff's department turned over. It was something you had to go back and get.
Correct.
All right, and what types of records did you receive from actual phone companies?
From phone companies, we received primarily call detail records, essentially records detailing phone calls made to and from each account.
Okay, and where did those records come from? What company?
Specifically for Dale and Dee, it's AT&T and Verizon.
Okay, did you get anything from Monroe County as it related to the phones?
Yes, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department aided Lenawee County Sheriff's Department and did a forensic download of Dale's phone at the onset of the investigation in April of 21.
Okay, and the records that you received, or the records that came back as a result of those search warrants, do those go to the Michigan State Police lab?
The records from Dale's phone dump and the phone companies?
Correct.
Yes, were given to our analysts. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and if I want to put the records into numbers, or how much is there, how much data do you believe was there?
It would be very difficult to describe. It's an enormous amount of data.
Okay.
And those specific record sets is a lot.
When you get those types of records and that stuff is turned over to your analysts, what do they do with that?
It depends on the type of investigation. In this specific circumstance, in this case, we were primarily interested in things that had occurred. This kind of difficult answer. We asked the analysts to look at a variety of things, including historical data and things that happened specifically on Sunday, and then things that happened after Sunday. That makes sense.
Okay. And the physical phone, was that also turned over to the analysts? I'll rephrase that. Dale's physical phone that you recovered when you started your investigation, was that turned over to the analysts?
Yes.
And what was done with that phone?
Our computer crimes team did another forensic.
Objection, only as it relates to personal knowledge. What I'm hearing is someone else did this kind of work, and then he also said, we asked this, so I don't even know if he's the one who's asking for work to be done. But again, unless he's doing the analysis, I don't think that he can speak to the steps of the analysis.
Response?
As far as the, I will draw and I'll lay a foundation. When you got the phone, the physical phone, what did you specifically do with it?
The phone would be taken into evidence and entered as a property item.
Okay.
Specifically for phones, electronic media, I would take the phone to our computer crimes team, who would run it through a program and create what we commonly refer to as a phone dump.
Okay. And is that referred to as anything else?
It could be called a portable case, is a more specific term.
Okay. And when they create this phone dump or portable case, do they give you anything in return?
Yes, I would receive a drive from them containing that specific forensic analysis.
Okay.
Or I shouldn't say analysis, that specific portable case for me to review and analyze.
And were you able to review the contents of Dale's phone either through the portable case or through the phone records?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the witness? So I've handed you what's been marked as people's proposed exhibits 16, 31, and 14. Can you please look at exhibit 16 and describe what that is for me?
16 is from a portion of the portable case that was developed by Monroe County Sheriff's Office for the Lenawee County Sheriff's Office in April of 21. This specific document is what's called cookie data. So this is essentially a use of Dale Warner's phone programs that were accessed and at what time.
On what date?
This is very specific to 425.
Okay, and is that in the same condition as you reviewed that document
Yes,
and received that document?
yes.
I'd move to admit people's proposed exhibit 16.
I object. He didn't prepare this report. Someone else prepared this report.
For comparison purposes, exhibit 16 is
Thank you.
And what was the use on that phone that morning of 425 as it relates to the document I've handed you?
It shows that at 7:08 a.m., Dale's phone accesses the My Cadillac app.
Okay, and that's on the second page of the document you're looking at?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and go back to the first page, please. Is there another entry for My Cadillac?
Yes, there's another one, 425 for 7:44 a.m.
Okay, and were you present when Ms. Vanden Heuvel testified
Yes.
regarding that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and she discussed data on the phone, is that correct?
Data usage. Yes,
Data
ma'am.
usage, okay. And can you tell me what data usage means?
Data usage in regards to her testimony is when your phone is connected to the network and using data from your phone carrier.
Okay, and what if it's not using data? What's the other alternatives?
If you're accessing the internet and you're not using data from your phone carrier, you must be connected to a private internet source such as Wi-Fi in your home or at a business.
Okay. What is exhibit 31 that I've handed you?
Exhibit 31 is another image taken from Dale's phone. It's a text message sent on 4/25/21 at 7:45 a.m. The text message is sent to Dee, and it says, "Going to be spraying, call you later," smiley face emoji.
Okay, and what approximate time was that sent?
7:45 a.m. in 9 seconds.
I'd move to admit people's proposed exhibit 31.
No objection. Thank you.
What is document or exhibit 14?
14 is from AT&T. These are phone records for Dale's cell phone. Very specifically, this is page 57, which is records from the morning of 4/25/21.
And were you able to identify the first time Stephanie Volke, the phone number that's associated with her, calls that phone?
Yes,
And what is the exact time of that call?
that's at 10:31 a.m. on 4/25/21.
Okay. I'd move to admit people's proposed exhibit 14.
Same objection as earlier. Thank you.
people's proposed exhibit number 41.
14. The call records that you received as it relates to Dale Warner, do you recall the time frame of that?
That search warrant was written by Lenawee County, so I believe the records only go until the first week of May.
Okay. And were you able to review those documents to see approximately how often Dale and Dee were communicating?
Yes,
And what time frame are we talking when you say you looked over how often they were communicating?
I compared a similar time frame as for her pattern of life, so that is from 3/28 to 4/24, 3/28/21 to 4/24/21.
Okay. And approximately how often were Dee and Dale in contact every day?
They communicated frequently throughout the day. Most of the communication was from her, originating from her device to his device.
Okay. And how many calls or text messages did you say they were sending daily?
I'm not certain how many they were exchanging. I know that he called her an average of 3 times a day.
Okay. Did he text Dee ever?
Not nearly as often. I believe in that span from 3/28 to 4/24, he only texted her 16 times.
Okay. Based on the phone records, were you able to determine when the last call from Dale's phone to Dee's phone was?
The last in that entire record set
Correct.
would be on 4/24/21.
Okay. And do you recall how many times on 4/24/21 Dale called Dee?
They each called each other 4 times.
Did you review the text messages between Dale and Dee on either of the phone portable cases?
Yes.
And how many times did Dale's phone send a text message to Dee's phone after April 25th, 2021?
He texted her after 4/25/21. He texted her twice the first week of May. and I believe 3 more times in that fall of 21.
Okay, and would that have been after September of 21?
Yes.
All right. And do you know if if Dale ever downloaded Dee's phone to another device, a separate device?
Yes, I want to make sure I understand you. When you say download her phone, are you referring to from the cloud?
From the cloud, yes.
Yes.
Thank you for asking. Okay, and do you know when that data was downloaded from the iCloud onto a separate phone?
Yes.
And what date was that?
That was on 9/7 of 21.
Okay, and I believe last time we were here, you testified that you went to retrieve this phone from Dale, and he originally didn't turn it over. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you testified you had to come back and retrieve it, correct?
Yes.
And were you able to get it that second time?
I was.
Okay. And after September 7th of 21, when that iCloud is downloaded to this backup phone, is the phone that's missing with Dee, is that able to receive and make phone calls and text messages?
So the phone that went missing with Dee that was never retrieved after 9/7/21, if it somehow were to miraculously come back to life, assuming it's dead, it would not have any service because the phone that was utilized starting 9/7 of 21 is now the device that the carrier recognizes as the primary phone.
Okay.
So essentially after 9/7/21, if the device Dee possessed on 4/25/21 ever turned back on, it would not have service from the provider.
Okay. And so the 3 text messages sent in September and October of 21, were those sent after September 7th, 21?
Yes.
Okay. Were you also able to review text messages sent from Dee to Dale?
Yes.
May I approach the witness? I've handed you what's been marked as people's proposed exhibit 9. Can you tell me what that is?
This is a message from Dee Warner to Dale Warner from February 23rd, 2021 at 10:02 a.m.
Okay, and is that the same message as you reviewed it when you found it?
Yes.
I've moved to admit people's exhibit 9.
Objection. First, just to hearsay. Second, as to marital privilege. It's communication between a husband and wife.
Your Honor, under 8033, then existing mental, emotional, or physical condition, a statement of the declarant's then existing state of mind or emotional, sensory, or physical condition, such as intent, plan, motive, design, mental feeling, pain, or bodily health. Ms. Warner's indicating through that message what her plan is if Dale doesn't stop.
What was the exhibit?
Exhibit 9.
Exhibit 9 is-
Oh. I was gonna have him read it, but.
Thank you.
Can you read that text message?
I'm ready to move out and be done with this. You treat me as if I'm not worthy of anything. If you love someone, you want everything for them, and you do not. You want to be in control so that the other person is powerless. I'm not going to live like this. Either you stop or Lena and I will move out. I'm sick of it.
Thank you. Did you also have the opportunity to review text messages on Dee's phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, to be clear, ma'am, this is from her cloud, not her physical phone.
Thank you for clarifying. Here, may I approach the witness? This one. That was just.
So that's the other one used. Okay. And then who's communication? This is-
Sir, I've handed you what's been marked as people's proposed exhibit 12. Can you tell me what that is?
This is these are messages exchanged between Raquel and Dee Warner.
And how do you know that those are messages between Dee and Raquel?
From reviewing their phone data and from speaking with Raquel.
Okay, and Your Honor, I move to admit people's proposed exhibit 12.
Same objection as to hearsay. Also, Raquel's text messages would absolutely be hearsay. She's not articulating any sort of plan.
Your Honor, I don't care what Raquel's messages say. It can say the grass is green, the sky is blue. The statement that we do want in is actually a command, which is not hearsay. Hearsay is defined as a statement other than one made by the declarant while testifying at the trial or hearing, offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Commands are not hearsay because they do not involve an assertion. People v. Bennett, 290 Mich. App 465.
People's proposed exhibit 12 submitted for recent notices.
All right, read the relevant text.
323 of 21, the D text Raquel, make sure you lock my car and hide my purse.
Exhibit 34, what is that?
This is a similar report, a similar document. It is a text message exchange between Amy Alexander and Dee Warner.
Okay, what's the date of those messages?
The first message with the date here is 12/6 of 2020.
All right, and how do you know that those are messages between Amy Alexander and Dee Warner?
From reviewing both of their phones, their reported cases.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, I move to admit people's exhibit 34.
We object to these messages coming in. Again, first of all, it's hearsay on behalf of Ms. Alexander and Ms. Warner. That message does not state a command. It doesn't state her mental state or future plan in those texts. What she is articulating is a claimed prior event, which is inadmissible under hearsay.
Your Honor, there are multiple messages that are relevant within that thread, and they are admissible for a number of reasons. Under 803.2, an excited utterance, a statement relating to a startling event or condition made while the declarant was under the stress of excitement that it caused. The plain language of 803.2 does not require that the startling event or condition be established solely with independent evidence of an out-of-court statement before the out-of-court statement may be admitted. Rather, MRE 1101B1 and MRE 104 instruct that when a trial court makes a determination under 803.2 about the existence of a startling event or condition, the court may consider the out-of-court statement itself in concluding whether that event or condition has been established. These messages articulate an event where Dee Warner is describing trying to leave Dale, being thrown into a dresser, being told she's not leaving, and she's not taking the child. That is a startling event, Your Honor.
Ms. Warner claims that this happened the night before. There's no indication of trustworthiness in her messages. There's no corroboration whatsoever. She is not under the stress of this claimed startling event the next day. And she also claims that Mr. Warner told her that he tripped. So she claims that she had physical contact with Mr. Warner, and Mr. Warner explained that it was accidental. These messages should not come in. They do not fall under the excited utterance hearsay exception.
Your Honor, as Mr. Warner was telling Mrs. Warner, it's accidental as he's throwing her into a dresser, telling her she's not leaving. The touchstone of MRE 803.2 is not timing, but whether the declarant is actually still under the emotional influence of the startling event. She describes that the event caused a giant goose egg to her forehead. You have Stephanie Volke, who indicates that she witnessed in either November or December of 20 a goose egg on Dee Warner's head. You have her massage therapist, who indicated she observed bruising on Dee's hip as a result of Dale throwing her into this dresser. I would ask the court to allow those messages to be brought in.
Ms. Warner also claimed that you can't see the goose egg. It's underneath her hair, which calls into question the credibility of the other witnesses who claimed that they did see a goose egg.
Ms. Volke indicated that Ms. Warner did in fact have to pull her hair up and back to show her that injury.
What was proposed exhibit number 34 submitted for recent cases?
Let's go to the first message, starting with, listen, I tried to leave.
12/7/2020 at 10:31 a.m. This message is sent from Dee Warner to Amy Alexander. It reads, listen, I tried to leave last night and he called me a cunt and threw me at the dresser.
Okay. 12/7/2020 at 11:34:07. Read that one.
This message is sent from Dee Warner to Amy Alexander. Yeah, I had a large goose egg on my head and a sore neck, but I'm okay.
And the next one.
Again, sent from Dee Warner to Amy Alexander. He turned into the devil.
Next page, 12/7/2020 at 11:43 and 31.
At 11:43.
11:43, 31 seconds. Yep. Next.
From Dee Warner to Amy Alexander. He told me that he would not allow me to take Lena.
12/7/2020 at 12:15 and 30. Following page.
From Dee Warner to Amy Alexander, I've never seen him this bad.
Top of the next page.
12/7/2020 at 12:16. I literally thought he could kill me.
Next page, top.
12/7 at 12:19 p.m. from Dee Warner to Amy Alexander. He tried to tell me that he tripped. It was not even close to a trip, especially as he was throwing me. He said, "You're not going anywhere."
Next page, top.
12/7 at 12:21 p.m. Dee Warner to Amy Alexander. I can't trust Lena with him, not for a weekend.
Thank you. Were you also able to observe the email usage of Dee Warner?
Yes.
Okay, were you able to determine an average use for her on her emails?
She had a couple different email addresses that she used primarily, most of which was for work. She would use the emails close to every day. There were some instances where there wasn't outgoing activity each day, but it was pretty close every day.
And did you observe any outgoing messages after April 25th, 2021?
No.
You also, as a result of your investigation and communications with Dale Warner, created some maps as it relates to this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
So I've handed you what's been marked people's proposed exhibit 25, 27, and 28. Can you describe what exhibit 25 is for me?
25 is an aerial view of the farm on Munger Road, detailing the different buildings and with some labels indicating the cameras on the property and their viewpoints.
Okay, and is that an accurate representation of your map?
Yes.
I'd move to admit people's proposed exhibit 25.
Any objection?
No objection.
People's proposed exhibit 125 is amended.
Okay, describe what people's proposed 27 is.
27 is the same map zoomed out so you can see the closest intersecting roads. So it's zoomed out to the point where you can see Carson and Munger intersecting.
Okay, and there's some red lines in that map. Is that correct?
Yes, essentially the same red lines that are on People's 25.
Okay, and red boxes?
Correct.
Okay. I'd move to admit people's proposed exhibit 27.
No objection.
People's proposed exhibit 127 is due for executive purposes.
You testified last time you were here that you received a large amount of surveillance camera footage from the farm on Munger Road. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And what did you do with that footage that you received?
All of that video was reviewed. More specifically, the events leading up to 4/25/21 and 4/25/21.
Okay. And how many hours of footage do you believe are on? Did you have for that relevant time period?
We had video for 1 week, just due to the date that it was collected from the farm. It was collected later that week, the week of 4/25. I couldn't tell you how many hours it is. Essentially, all of the cameras on the property are motion activated, and they run depending on how long there's motion. So there's numerous hours of video for that week.
Okay. And were you able to, either by yourself or with the help of somebody else, create a compilation to narrow down some time frame on that surveillance footage you received?
Yeah, specifically with 4/25/21, we made a video that essentially had specific movements, Dale-specific movements between a certain time frame on Sunday morning.
Okay. Do you recall what that time frame is?
That's between 7 a.m. and approximately 7:45 a.m.
Okay. Could it have been 8:45 a.m.?
I'm sorry, ma'am, 8:45 a.m.
Okay. And when you say we created this, who's we?
Essentially, I reviewed the video and notated which portions I wanted to add to this specific video, and then we used the FBI's audiovisual unit to make the compilation.
And would that be common in your line of work to request help to do that?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, at this time,
Sorry, I should have unmuted before I did that. It's time to stretch again. My shoulders and neck are getting a bit tense. So I mentioned I'm writing about George Zimmerman, and there's actually 3 different incidents, and I only knew about one. RA is going live in 11 minutes. Unfortunately, with this one, you guys are more than welcome to head over. I won't be offended, but I'm going to have to let it run its course to 2:23, so there's about 23 minutes left, because for the replay, it's going to be really annoying for people to have to wait for the next one. Teresa! Yes, I'm monetized on the first tier. So super chats, memberships, and emojis. Haven't figured out the emojis first, though. I mean, the emojis. I watched it last night. I have some thoughts. I think there was a lot of egging on. So, yeah. I don't know. I see I can redirect now. I'll do that closer to the time. But that popped up as well, which is exciting.
I'd move to admit people's proposed exhibit 15L, the video that was created as it relates to the surveillance footage from that morning.
No objection, Your Honor.
Proposed exhibit 15L, this is it.
Sir, you still have exhibit 28 in front of you,
Yes, ma'am.
and what is that?
This is the same aerial image as exhibit 27. However, in addition, there are lines drawn on the map to indicate the movements we just saw on camera and the times associated with those movements.
Okay. I move to admit people's proposed exhibit 28.
No objection, thank you.
People's proposed exhibit number 28 is submitted for examination.
Your Honor, I have first witness.
Yes.
I've handed you what's been marked people's proposed 22, 20, 21, and 19. So let's start with people's 22. What is that?
This is an aerial overview of the Munger Road Farm. This is specifically the image that Dale made markings on during our interview.
Okay, so during the interview, you presented Dale with the map and asked him to put an X on a number of things. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that is that the same document from that interview or a copy of?
Yeah, the original's entered on the property, but this is a copy of it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and hold up. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4 X's on that map. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And can you explain to me, based on the interview that you did with Dale, what those 4 X's are?
Yes, the first X I like to describe is in the top right-hand corner. That X was due to the pen not working initially, us just getting it to work. That X is irrelevant. The next X, the one that is furthest to the left on the screen, projected appointment.
Yes, please. I didn't bring the pointer. I figured you're tall enough.
This X is where I asked him to describe the area in which the dogs are kept and where he would have gone to retrieve the Kubota. This X here is indicating where the front end loader is stored. And this X here is where he parked the front end loader behind the house.
What was your point in doing this map with Mr. Warner?
Obviously, the X in the top right, which is a pen snafu. The other 2 X's are absolutely irrelevant. I asked him those questions only to put him at ease about telling me where the front end loader was parked.
So your goal is to find out exactly where the front end loader was parked.
That's correct.
When you call it the front end loader, we've heard testimony about JCB, front end loader. Are you referring to the same thing or something different?
That's correct. Those 2 things are one and the same.
Okay. And why do you care where the front end loader is pulled up during your course of your interview or investigation?
Through Dale's statements, we know that he leaves the house. His statements change, but essentially he comes back to the residence in the front end loader. When he goes in, Dee is sleeping on the couch. He then leaves in the front end loader, begins his farming errands, leaves the property. When the children arrive, the adult children arrive, the Hummer is parked in front of the office and is no longer behind the house. This is important because according to Dale, no one else is on the property. So Dee must have moved the Hummer. But when he pulls the front end loader behind the house and parks it where the Hummer was, those 2 things cannot be in the same space. In other words, when Dale pulls the front end loader here, the Hummer has already moved. But when he goes inside the house, Dee is still sleeping and no one else is there.
And his explanation for her driving did he give you an explanation or just Detective Greg an explanation for driving the Hummer down to the garage?
He explains to Detective Greca that he drives the Hummer to the office to put the ring on his desk. And then she left it there because she was afraid he could still track it.
Objection, if this is not part of the video, I object to this witness articulating something that we haven't seen. The best evidence would be the interview itself, not this witness summarizing Detective Greca's interview with Mr. Warner.
It was played on the 429 body cam. This court's already heard it. He's just reiterating what he heard. Exhibit 20, what is that?
Exhibit 20 is a photograph of the JCB front end loader, the one that is possessed at the time of 4/25/21 and owned by Dale Warner.
Okay. And I'd move to admit people's proposed exhibit 20.
Any objection number 2?
No objection, thank you.
People's proposed exhibit number 20 is submitted for exam purposes.
What is exhibit 21?
21 is an image of what Dale refers to as the Kubota.
Okay. I move to admit people's proposed exhibit 21.
No objection, thank you.
People's proposed exhibit 21 is submitted for exam purposes.
What is exhibit 19?
19 is a photograph of the rear side of the Munger Road residence. So this would be the north side. The specific image is where the Hummer would have been parked and ultimately where the front end loader was parked.
Okay, and are you familiar with this area of the house?
Yes,
I moved to admit people's proposed, I think I said 19.
No objection, thank you.
People proposes at 19.
And did you have an opportunity to observe at any point in time the JCB pulled up to that house?
yes,
And did you observe anything about that bucket?
yes. When parking the front end loader, the JCB in this spot, the bucket attached to it fits between those two pillars, and you can set it on the deck up against the back door.
Okay, and have you been on the other side of those doors on the Munger farm?
Yes,
Okay, and when was that you were inside that home?
I've been there a number of times. The first time would have been when I began aiding the sheriff's department in 2022.
Okay, and based on your observations that day and the photographs and body cams you had reviewed prior to that time, did the inside appear consistent with the same it was on April 25th, 2021?
Yes, yes, ma'am. So when I saw it initially, it's essentially the same as what it was on 425. Yes.
Okay, so if I walk through those back doors, describe to me what's on the other side.
You are standing with the kitchen to your right and the living room area to your left.
Okay, and do you see any furniture?
Yes, there are 2 couches in the living room to the left.
Did Dale ever give you an explanation for where Dee is,
Yes,
for where he believes Dee is?
yes.
And where does he state she is?
Dale told me that Dee was in the hills of Jamaica living with the drug cartel.
Did Dale indicate to you how she would have gotten to Jamaica with the drug cartel?
Yes, my follow-up question to him.
This I'm going to object to again. Best evidence is the video. If they want to play the video in the numerous interviews given by Mr. Warner, it will show him trying to assist and provide multiple possibilities. This is not, they're just cherry picking one. So I object to this small portion of the numerous interviews that Mr. Warner has been given, and the fact that not only is it violative of the best evidence rule, but contextually it's inaccurate with all the statements that Mr. Warner has given.
There's nothing about his testimony that violates the best evidence rule. The best evidence isn't the only evidence. This detective did the interview, number one. Number two, he's not taking it in a vacuum. He's talked about suicide. He's talked about the pills. He is not taking this as this is the only statement she's ever given. He's discussed those other items.
Can you repeat the question, please, ma'am?
Did he state to you how she would have gotten to the hills of Jamaica to live with the cartel?
Yes, my follow-up question to him is how she would have gotten there without the use of her identification, her passport or driver's license. And Dale stated that she could have gotten there, she could have gotten to Florida and taken an illegal boat ride or gotten across the border for $10.
For $10?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you indicated you received a bunch of information. Well, I moved to strike that. Let me move back. Did you contact anybody else as a result of the theory that she might be in Jamaica, in the hills of Jamaica, living with the cartel?
Yes.
Okay, and who did you contact?
I ultimately ended up in contact with Ryan Heathis from the Secret Service.
Okay, and do you recall when you contacted him?
I believe it was in the fall of 2022.
And as a result of whatever he did he submit a report to you?
Yes.
And based on that report, did you do anything?
Yes.
What did you do?
His report indicated that there was a Dee Warner boarding a plane in the continental United States after 4/25/21. So I investigated that incident.
Okay, and what did you find?
I found that Dee Warner to be otherwise unrelated to this case and just shared the same name.
Okay, so there did exist another Dee Warner somewhere else, and it was not Dee Warner, Dee Ann Warner in this matter.
That's correct.
Okay. You testified last time we were here that you did a bunch of search warrants for bank accounts as it relates to Dee and Dale Warner and their various businesses. Is that correct?
Yes.
And prior to April 25th, 2021, were you able to review a period of use of credit cards and cash from Dee Warner?
Yes.
And what's that period of time approximately?
We reviewed financial documents dating back to 2019 forward.
Okay. And were you able to establish a pattern or a use of those accessing those accounts for Dee Warner?
Yes.
Okay, and what did that look like?
Dee primarily used 2 different credit cards for her daily spending. The average of those cards in those months was over $13,000 in use.
So $13,000 a month?
Correct.
Okay. And was there any use on those credit cards after 4/25/2021 attributed to Dee Warner?
No.
Okay. Did she have any other credit cards that she often used?
Yes, she frequently used a K Jewelers credit card.
Okay. And
Sorry, didn't know.
K Jewelers?
do you know how off or what the average use on that card was?
I'm not sure on the average per month, but between 2019, from 2019 moving forward, she spent over $45,000 on that credit card.
On April 25th, 2021, what was the balance across all the bank accounts where there would have been cash available that he had access to?
Across all of her accounts, Dee had access to over $108,000.
After 4/25/2021, do you have anything to show Dee Warner access to that money or those accounts?
No.
Was there any indication based off the records that you reviewed and the investigation that you did that Dale Warner somehow cut Dee Warner's access off of those accounts?
No, she continued to have access to those accounts.
What is Venmo?
Venmo is an application you can use on your mobile phone to send and receive money.
Okay, and how does that work?
You would create an account with Venmo and tie it to a bank account or credit card. The application then accesses that bank account or credit card for you to send and receive money to another user of that application.
Okay, so if I don't have Venmo, so I just want to make sure I understand. If somebody sends me money through Venmo, does it go directly into my account?
It would go to your Venmo account, where then you as a user would decide what to do with it, if you wanted it to remain in that account or sent to your bank.
Okay, and if I want to make a payment through Venmo, kind of the same theory, if I have that in the Venmo account, would it come out of there?
Correct.
Okay, and on April 25th, 2021, did Dee Warner have a Venmo account?
Yes.
And what was the balance on that account on April 25th, 2021?
She had over $5,000 in that account.
Okay, and was there any activity on that account after April 25th, 2021?
Yes.
And what was that?
In the fall of 2023, in the fall of 2023, withdrawals started coming out of that account.
Okay, and were you able to identify where those withdrawals were coming from?
Going to, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
And where were they going?
Well, we discovered it was being withdrawn fraudulently. A person gained access to the credentials of the account and began withdrawing money for their own use.
Okay, and were you able to confirm that had nothing to do with Dee Warner?
That's correct.
Okay, and how were you able to do that?
The person accessing the money is in no way associated to any of the people related to this case and is otherwise unknown to everyone outside of the investigators.
So you do have a suspect, a known suspect?
We've identified a suspect, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Throughout the course of the investigation, have you been in contact with Dee's children?
Yes.
And which family members have you been in contact with?
I speak to all of the family members.
Okay, and for what?
When we first took the investigation over, we discussed with the family how it is that they wanted to be communicated with. And what we asked of them, due to there being so many adults involved, that they kind of nominate one person as our contact. So we have very regular contact with TJ, who is kind of their spokesperson, if you will. But then I have contact with the other adult children if I have a specific question for them or I need to meet with them. But primarily it's with TJ, on occasion with one of his siblings if I need something, and then also Greg Hardy if we like each other that week, basically.
Okay. And did the siblings, or excuse me, did Dee's children ever contact you to ask you for a status update on the case or the investigation?
Very regularly, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you took this case over, did you notify Dale Warner that you were taking this case over?
Yes.
And had you tried to contact him after notifying of him of that?
Yes.
How many times did you try to contact him after that?
Several times.
Okay, and would he respond to you?
No.
Did anybody respond to you? Did anybody respond?
I'm going to object to that. He doesn't have to communicate with the police. It's highly improper to even ask these questions about whether he's spoken to the police or chosen not to speak to the police. He has the constitutional right not to do so. He already sat down with the police numerous times. So I think this whole line of questioning about his choosing at various times not to communicate is improper.
The court is well aware of his rights and you have the right to cross-examine him when prosecutors have been overruled.
Did anybody contact you?
Yes. On several occasions, I would call Dale and leave him a voicemail, and his accountant, Mark Weisberg, would call me back.
Okay, so Mark Weisberg, the accountant, would call you. What would did he ask you what you wanted?
He, the first time, said, I'm calling because you called Dale. And I said, yes. And I was very confused. I didn't understand why he was calling me. After
notifying Dale that you were taking over this case, did he ever contact you to ask you for status updates or the how the investigation was going?
The only time he has ever contacted me was when he called me from Dee's phone number to ask for his phone back.
Okay, I've got to cut it there because, see, One sec. Yeah. Okay, so basically that's the end because I don't want you to see what the next video title is because that gives away what the judge decided. So, quick recap. There's the full recap of who said what in the sorry, in the description. YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. All I said was, yep, Ray will run through it before I end. That's literally all I said. No spoilers. Yeah, well, I'm trying very hard. Like I've been trying so hard not to allude to what I know. So here is a summary of the evidence that makes it potentially Dale responsible. There's the tracker on Dee's hammer. There's surveillance cameras around the property, around the business. Dale wanted exclusive access. These cameras themselves are a whole topic. And then Dale also asked the IT person for their business to clone Dee's phone. And Kyle said no. Then Dee's daughter said that she had been scared of Dale, as did her longtime friend, Amy. And Amy said that Dee felt overwhelmed. She was scared. She was contemplating divorce. Her massage therapist said that there were bruises on her and that she was thinking of legal options. Money allegedly going missing was one thing that came up with all of the people from the business. But here's the weird thing. It kind of goes to both sides because Dale made it sound like it was Dee and Dee made it sound like it was Dale. And they were both, from what I can tell, kind of investigating each other. There is... Dee was frazzled. She was upset just before. She was last seen by Todd, who's her friend that was explaining the office in that really confusing way. That was on April 23rd. She was officially reported missing on April 25th. Her iPhone had a lot of activity, Find My iPhone, calls going to voicemail, etc. on the 25th. So she hasn't answered it since. That kind of points to both ways as well. And after Dee disappeared, Dale asked the IT guy to change the passwords for the server and the camera systems. The server and the camera systems was also a weird thing because her son said that only the IT guy had access, but that he checked it on the day she went missing. Dale allegedly checked it on the day she went missing. Her son said that he couldn't get access to QuickBooks because he wasn't on the server, but I've worked on QuickBooks and that's not true. Something's weird there. And then there's unusual trips and stops on Dee's vehicle data. So there's something strange there. Then what makes it questionable that it was him, and this I got before we listened to the son. The son makes me question a lot. So there's no physical evidence, nothing. No blood, no DNA, no weapon, nothing, nothing, nothing. There's no eyewitnesses of any of the alleged violence between the two of them. Dee did have serious health problems. She was very stressed. She was physically and emotionally unwell. There was, according to Dale, and potentially some witnesses, money going missing. Her own son said that like money disappeared from the safe, but his testimony, if you want to see me rant about him, go back to yesterday. What else? Although they had frequent arguments, there's no record that he actually was physical. The GPS was allegedly to help her and not anything weird. Dee was being very weird about her phone and her keys. Could she have been planning to go somewhere? Potentially. She was looking into financial things, as was Dale. He has also cooperated with law enforcement, allegedly. And Kyle Wagner, who is the IT person, said, although Dale did make strange requests, They could also be trying to manage the situation with the finances. Yeah, but also with sketchy mama's boy, even, is he a mama's boy? I feel like, I don't know. I don't know where he stands. Like, he said, I've met your client. But before that, I fully thought that he believed his mom left. It's going to be fun if there's a jury. Tomorrow, yes. Wait, tomorrow's Thursday. I need to take my cousin to the airport at, I'll tell you in a sec. 3 p.m. So yeah, I can try do tomorrow. I can try do something. I'll figure something out. Okay, let's head over to RA. Thanks, mods. Thanks, people who got memberships. If I figure out how to gift some, like at the start of the month or whatever it is, I will try to cover some more people. Thanks for the super chats. Everybody's awesome. Have a great day, or may you have the day you deserve. Bye.